Okay. Everything's working, right? Is Wait, is everything working? Yes. All right. Hi, everybody. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Sinistello. Hey, Chef Alton. It's Monday, which means we're going to start with tenets, which I have started already. Look at this. All right. So, sustainability. What I write last week. This one's up in the air. I thought everything was going fine. Then didn't feel like doing work. Yeah, I think this may have just been a sleep problem. Last week seemed like it went perfectly well. Yeah. Bricklaying. I've definitely been doing what I need to do. And I think this mentality is helping. Breaks going terribly. I'm still not totally sure what I want to even do here. Updated the PR from the other day, sent another one with the mock-up for adventure level up. Ah, wonderful. I will write this stuff down. Merge PRs and look at mock-up. We'll probably do that in the afternoon, is my guess. Hey, Zapwood. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. I clearly don't want to take breaks that badly, but I think it's probably what I should be doing. It's definitely an obligation. And I don't know how to make this more amenable. I guess I need to figure out what's my actual motivation for doing this, or for even saying I should do it. And I'm not sure what it is. And I think I should just drop this. But that seems like a bad idea. Just sitting around for that long seems like a bad idea. Maybe what I should do is maybe I should say, because I think I am taking breaks when I need them. When I need them. Mostly that means having to pee. I should probably just stand more so that I'm not as static. Yeah, maybe we try this for this coming week. I think we'll try this for this week and see how that goes. Okay. And I'll even write a thing on my to-do list. Where did my to-do list go? Here it is. I'll write something here for this afternoon. Afternoon, make sure to start out standing. Cool. Hey, David. Okay, so we have big goals this week, which is to finish ideally these three things. March 28th is this Friday? Yeah. Yeah, I did some work on Saturday, maybe Friday. I don't remember when. Anyway, I'll just show what I did, and then we can pick up from there and start coding. So I hope you're all having a good time, and we can all be productive. So this is supposed to be the fire slime. I just colored it red, and when you click it, it still says it's still got the green portrait and the green background. But hi, I'm a slime. I love to cook. I'm really bad at it. Drag items to me, and I'll cook them. Use the resulting meals to grow more powerful. So now, items. Is that? Oh, that's a fish. The vegetables and grapes and fish can drop on the ground, and workers can pick them up, and they will automatically bring them to the slime. You can also drag them there if you want. And if you have space in your warehouse, you can put items here too. And workers know how to go over there, pick them up, and bring them to the slime. So that stuff's working. I don't remember where I left off with this. So we probably have a decent amount to do. I think one of the things is that, let's see if that works, is that you can't harvest the crops properly, and workers can't harvest the crops. So they're going to need to be able to do that. Yeah, if you just click this right now, it just disappears. I think we need to turn it into an item. Hey, Goose. All right, so let's see where we left off with this stuff. Let me close out of this. Okay, allow fish and crops to be picked up. Clicking a mature crop shouldn't convert it into food. It should put it on your mouse. And when manually dragging a crop, right-clicking it should probably drop it on or near the farm. Yeah, we should probably do that. All this stuff. Drop food. They know this. and this, and they don't have a sound effect. So I think we just need to clean up our commit for this right now. I'm going to steal that tenants idea. I made a video on it if you want to watch. It's pretty straightforward, though. You probably already know everything you need to know about it just by watching it. But I think it's fantastic. Where is it? There it is. How to focus on what you value. A video that nobody watched. Here it is. Was the game released already, or is there a release date? The game was not released already. There is not a release date yet. What we're focusing on are two immediate goals. One is roughly April 18th, which is like the next big demo launch. That'll have fishing, farming, the new progression, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then June, I don't remember exactly when, I'm just going to say 16th, but it's somewhere around there, which is Next Fest. It's whatever day is a Monday that's closest to that, I think. So probably the 18th or something. I don't know. That's Next Fest. That's the Steam Festival where people can download games that have demos and rate them and try them out and whatever else. And then after that, the goals are going to be like figure out the launch. So maybe we go to early access, maybe we don't. We have to figure out how much content we need and whatever else remains. But ideally, we have enough systems at that point. So yeah, that's everything we're working toward. Okay, so sound effect when cooking an item. There's the chef slime here, and we have this cook item. So we need a sound effect that sounds like you're melting food down. Melting. I mean, it's turning into sludge. I guess it just needs to sound like you're cooking something. Where are the sound effects? They're there. Okay, so here we go. So do we have some sort of like cook sound? Cooking. Yes, we do. These are not going to work. Flipping eggs single. Oh, okay. Well, we can probably use that last part of it. Not the flipping part. I don't like those. Where is this? Show and enclosing folder. Crafting professions? Seriously? Well, let's just search for fire, I guess. I don't think that really sounds like cooking, but They're too like bassy to sound like they're cooking. That could probably work. No. Sounds like the first one. Is this the same as this? Pretty similar. This one's not bad. Needs more of a sizzle. How can I play this game? You can technically play the current demo on Steam. I would suggest waiting because we're working on the next big demo stuff. So a lot of what you even just saw here, if you were watching this already, like the ability for crops don't even exist in the current demo. But then for them to be able to be brought here and for you to be able to level up your adventures and stuff, like that stuff doesn't exist. So the gameplay experience is going to change quite a lot. Let me see what else we have. That's not bad. It's also not bad. Okay, that's too much. Oh man, I'm not sure. You like fire or this one? The thing I'm wondering about is you're probably going to have a lot of items get brought to the slime at the same time. And it's going to play the sound effect quite a lot. I know we can pitch shift it. We could actually have it sample from many different sound effects. Maybe we should do the sample from different sound effects thing. I'm not sure. Because some of these aren't bad. That sounds like a knife. An end fire. That's not bad either. All right, let's start copying some of these to a different folder. Fire effects. Yeah, I like this one. Yeah, sure, let's take that. Didn't we have something else here that was pretty good? That one's pretty good. These are all too long. These definitely don't sound right. Okay, well, these three are pretty good. So of these three, which one sounds like it's best? Delete this one. So now it's one of these two. Probably this one. Let's start with that one for now. Yeah. Okay. So game assets, audio, sounds. We're just going to put this wherever we put the other one for the recycle item 28. All sound data, recycle item. It was in town. Okay, yeah. So let's put it in town and let's paste that here. And that is this one, 07 fire tile end. All right, we got to go into Godot and then we need to make a new sound ID. This is going to be called, I guess, cook item. Well, probably cook food. Yeah, we're not just cooking random items, I guess. And then we'll put this here. Cook food. And then play this sound from over here. There we go. All right, let's try that out. Oh yeah, we should pitch shift them. I got to do that, but let's at least make sure this works. So we turn this up and then we burn some food. It works, except that it's also making the sound of dropping an item. Yeah, I don't like that bit. But that was a problem with the original slime, so we're just going to write that down. Bug when dropping an item on a slime. It plays a generic drop sound that doesn't make sense. Then it also plays the slime's specific sound. Okay. All right, let's get some pitch shifting in here. Do one of these and see if that sounds good. What happened with that? Okay. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's at least good enough for right now. We can always tweak sound effects. We can even have a little smoke puff come out of this thing. Look at them carry their little vegetables over here. So funny. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, let's go check this stuff in. And then we can work on making it so that this all works end to end. So this should not be checked in, all instance data. In fact, let's start checking in the other ones. Everything up until that point looks good. Do the food items stack? That is a good question. They should, but only when they come out of the portal, which I don't think they ever will. Well, the fish will, I guess. So if I click this, yeah, they... This is really silly. I like it. All right, let's try stacking it one more time. Are there any groups of 3 here? There should be. I might have only made them drop up to 2. Yeah, I think I might have. Where is that? Yeah, they only ever drop 2. Okay, so let's make them go up to 3. Okay, we gotta save this and load. Wait a second. That didn't save any of the food that was on the ground, right? Okay, that's probably a bug because I'm pretty sure... Oh, did I load? Did I forget to load? Oh, yeah, I just forgot to load. Okay, no bug. Just forgetfulness. Yeah. Yeah, we should probably figure out how to get it to stack. Figure out how food could be made to stack. Crops will only ever... I'll just say figure out if we can have food stack somehow so that workers have to make fewer trips. I'm not sure. Maybe there's special worker behavior to pick up 3 crops at once. Or maybe crops can give stacks of food at some point. I think I prefer this idea that there's an upgrade at the farm where once you have item stacking, it says your crops now can grow like 3 crops at once or something. Hey, Voffy, it's coming along pretty well. We're working on getting crops to be movable correctly today and fish. And we have them all going to this, you know, hue shifted slime here. This is supposed to be a fire slime. Ideas to allow workers to pick up more stuff if they're not holding a full stack. It would work everywhere. Yeah, it would. And I do wonder, because there are some things that might make that a little bit difficult. Imagine this worker is holding a cloak and there is no other cloak in the warehouse. So then I start walking to the item shop. Now a cloak exists in the warehouse. Do they walk back? So we need to figure out like what's the pathfinding distance to this versus to their destination. Or there's a grace period of like half a second after picking up an item. But yes, that's actually that grace period thing I guess could work. Maybe workers can just be made to pick up multiples of an item. They would have a like a 1 second period after picking one up where they may seek out another if it exists. And they can hold it. And note that the item may no longer be holdable by the time they get to it. E.g. if more items stacked onto the destination. Hey Krasner, happy week Adam, make it great sir. Well, that's a new Krasner greeting, and thanks. But we're all responsible for making the week great. Where there's a balance stat, this makes them be able to carry more without falling over. Essentially the stat is this perk. When you unlock this perk, it just lets workers carry more items. I didn't want to have items stack on the ground and then your workers can't actually pick up the stack. I think that wouldn't really make sense. And if they had a stat, then I think it'd just be a different way of unlocking that perk. They could try to pick up partial amounts. Yeah, that's true. I'm not going to put too much thought into this for right now, but it's the kind of thing we could eventually do. We got rid of all item category data. This just was never used. I'll check that in separately. This adds in item data for the crops. That's good. This is a new item category for it. That's also good. Actually, should we check this in separately? Maybe we should just check this in now. Manifest crops and fish as items all item category data was never actually used, so I got rid of it. Interesting. Okay, check this in. Check that in. Check that and that. Okay. We had a new greetings for this thing. Or wait, we already had the greetings. We didn't have the UID files. Whatever. This was simplified, so we could get rid of that other function. That's nice. Signs. We go through just those signs. Yep, sounds good. Crop ID. I don't know whatever caused this to happen, but instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we had 0, 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. It doesn't really make a difference, but how did I do that? Is it because I alphabetized the crops? That's probably why. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't need to change the numbers or anything. We get rid of this. Yeah, so I think that's everything. This just makes it so that crops are a food item. Yeah. The chef slime can now eat food, although it doesn't do anything for you yet. Okay. Okay. So what's up next? Clicking a mature crop shouldn't convert the crops into food. It should put the item on your mouse. And when manually dragging a crop, right-clicking should probably drop it on or near the farm. All right, so whoops, somewhere we have clicking. Is it clicking a crop? Harvested. Here it is. And this played some animation, which I guess we have to delete the animation. That's too bad. Harvested on invoke. Yeah, we have a fade tween that fades out the plant. That's still gonna happen. And unfinished, we free this thing. And here we listen for on crop harvested. We create a thing here. Yeah. Oh, man. I'm gonna write this down. Probably delete harvested fruit. Okay, I guess there are a few different questions we could do here. So game design of all of this. How should you manually harvest crops? Option 1 is you click the crop and it flies directly into the slime. Option 2 is you click the crop and it like puts it on your mouse cursor and you have to click the slime afterward. And option 3 is you click the crop and it drops on the ground. At this point, you could pick it up or a worker could pick it up. Anyone have any ideas? Because all of these can work. Hey, Dark. All of these can work, and it's just a question of, like, what do we prefer here? So if we had, let's turn this on and let's delete all of these things. And I guess this too. And then do that. Oh, now they're getting, there we go. All right, so yeah, let's say, what's option 1? You click the crop and it flies directly into the slime. Yeah, so it could just be you go click, 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 and you're getting all of the crops. Oh, you know what I thought about just now? Okay, so yeah, we'd go like click, click, click. And instead of these things just going upward, they'd like fly over to the slime after that. So that's option 1. Part of this depends on whether we ever add another use for crops. If we did, then option 1 wouldn't work any longer. Although at that point we could change it. Anyway, the other way would be that you like are dragging from here. This is basically an item source. You drag it from here over into the slime. think I'm leaning toward number 2, because if crops are over here, which I guess they could be, because a worker might, maybe they can't be. No, maybe a crop could never be here. Unless maybe you could find crops yourself later. Although I guess that has no bearing on what we do for the farm. Dragging is more tedious for a user, but it adds a barrier of confirmation as they have to actively drag and drop it. Accidental click and destroy could be a point of frustration. Well, so click and destroy could only really happen with option 3. If we want to prevent destroying it, we could just make it so that when you click it, it just automatically, you get it. And there is only one use for crops for right now, which is to put them into this slime to get essentially experience points. I guess the question is, do I want to allow like dragging these items? Okay, I guess let's try option 1. Yeah, that way for you to manually harvest the whole farm is just 25 clicks and not 50 clicks, or like 25 clicks and drags. So yeah, let's go with option 1. And then how do workers get items? That means that crops need to be item sources, but not for you. That part's going to be a little bit weird. Did we do this already? All right, so harvesting crops. We're going to like make it so that clicking a crop manually automatically flies the crop to the slime, and make the crop into an item source for workers only. That's the part I'm not totally sure we can even do anything about. Well, I guess there's a way we could do this. No, it's kind of silly. Never mind. Yeah, I'm not totally sure how we'll do this. So we have something like item display. I don't know. What do we have anything that's just a source? I guess ground item source. Ground item source is just a source. Yeah. And the source has all of this stuff. A pickup point, whether or not it's got an item, a way of getting the item, a way of removing the item, a way of restoring it, which I guess would not be possible here. But we've got to make it so that when you try clicking this, it doesn't work. Hey, Syntonic, no worries. You were in the Grand Canyon. Well, was it a fun trip? Or was it a literal trip and you accidentally fell into the Grand Canyon? I've never been myself. Yeah, how do we do this? Well, let's see. The way that clicking an item source works right now is that we tell player held item about this. So something like ground item source should have a click handler here. On click function, yeah. And this is what tells us. This is what tells you that you clicked an item source. That's not going to happen anymore. Okay, this shouldn't be that hard then. I guess we just don't add a click handler that connects this to player held item. Hey, not you. Yeah, just need to not call that. Yeah. Should be easy. Did slip a few times. Yeah, it was a fun and short trip with some old coworkers. Not old like old, just haven't worked with them in a while. That's cool. Who put that together? You or one of the coworkers? Or I guess someone's significant other. All right, so this part, let's start with that. One of your coworkers. Okay. Well, still, sounds like a cool trip. Make this fly into the slime. We need a way of planting crops. And I did not do that, did I? No. We only have a way to force them to grow. I want to put this here somewhere. I don't know where. I guess bulletin boards have a right click. Let's see if we can do that first. So first, make it so that right clicking the bulletin board on the farm gives you the maximum size and plants all crops. Skeleton point. That's what I should call the things I give out when people help me. Bulletin board. The farm should have this. Yeah, here it is. Okay, this should be pretty simple. I'm pretty sure there's a right click on here, right? Yes, there is. All right, so if os.has feature debug, then set up a right click. And this is going to be like debug build farm. Yeah. All right, how do you level up the farm? Set farm level, here it is. And I don't want to show smoke. So set farm level to that without showing smoke. And then plant all of the possible crops that we have, which I guess we also don't have a way of doing. Nope. We can call plant seed 25 times. Yeah. Do we have a num empty plots? Yeah, we do. Okay, cool. So then we can just do that. For I equals 0, I is less than num empty crop plots, whatever, plant seed. Okay, let's try that. So now by right-clicking the bulletin board on the farm, it will immediately clear out all of the rocks without putting smoke there and plant all of the seeds. It didn't do that correctly. For some reason, only planted 13 seeds. What? Oh, because this number's changing? Oh. All right, fine. So int num empty plots, or num seeds to plant is equal to this. I think that'll fix it, because it was doing half every single time, which would make sense, because it was recalculating the maximum, I guess. Problem solved. Look at that. All right, and then you can do this. This doesn't cause any bugs, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, that's great. Let's check that in. This is just a debug feature, so none of the players will ever experience this. They'll never know what it's like to plant entire farms full of crops. Allow debug planting all crops, or debug filling the farm. The farm, I keep doing that. Oh, what happened to my message? No, where'd it go? All right, fine. Allow debug filling the farm. Right-clicking the bulletin board on the farm will now clear all of the rocks and plant all of the crops. All right, so that was that one. Now we need to make it so that clicking a crop manually, automatically, or manually clicking a crop, manually, automatically written, flies the crop to the slime. So I believe we have a harvested fruit thing. How does this work? This is probably just an animation that plays. Harvested fruit. Yes. This animation is just to make this, how do you, that? It just makes it float upward. So I think what would be kind of nice would be if it floats upward and then flies over to the slime, but possibly just having it automatically go over to the slime and no rising animation would be good. This is one of those things where there's no way to really mess that up. As long as it goes from here to here, it's fine. It's just what looks the best. So this has got to create an item and not just a fruit graphic. A 3D extended. Yeah, right now it's just a graphic. Okay, so make an item rather than just a graphic. And then fly it to the slime. We could probably just reuse drop off item. All right, where's all that go then? Crop has harvested, which goes to the plot, which is here, creates a fruit. So now what we're going to do instead is probably create an item here. Create an item here. Let's see how we do that. Grant items, add item quantities to grant, and call here. Something should create an item, right? We have an item ID, We create the item with the item ID, turn off collision, and then float it into the thing, right? Something like that. All right, let's just have it create pumpkins or something every time. I don't really want to worry about what crop got harvested, but we need to do that eventually. So let's just say item ID dot pumpkin and one pumpkin. Now I want the chef slime to eat this thing. Let's just make a testeroni function with the item. And then get rid of, maybe we can't get rid of that stuff. What does this do? Harvested crop. Stop hovering over crop. Play the sound. Okay, that should still happen. Harvested food. That's got to stop, though. So we get rid of this. Hey, Big Technique. Oh, my bad. I didn't even notice. Adam is working on revamping farming, fishing, questing, and adventurer progression. He's hoping to get all of this done by the end of Friday. Thanks, Freak Technique. All right, we're going to go make this function now. This is going to be like dead simple, and we're just going to keep this here. Public void testeroni item. And we're going to tell the chef slime to eat this thing. Drop off item. Let's just force that to exist here. Yeah, let's try that out. I'm going to clean up this code, but I want to see if this even looks good or works or doesn't work. What does it say? Object reference is required. Oh, yeah, that should be lowercase town. Wait, does this not exist here? The plot doesn't know about the town? Oh, God. Well, the farm does, but that's probably not public. Fine. Then we won't make the item here. We'll just make it up here in the farm. This is what has harvested crop, right? Yeah, that's what has it. Should pass the location too. Yes, you were correct. How do we know where to put this thing? It's just an item that floats somewhere. I wonder if it should be ground item source. Like that's what we consider this to be. It did technically come from the ground, but ignoring the ground part of this just represents an item that does not have any other destination right now, which means that it would delete itself if it stayed around for too long. Sets it back to the ground. No, that probably wouldn't work. Also, all we're doing is hovering this right into the slime anyway, right? So I think we'd be fine as long as we set the position of this thing. Item dot global position equals crop dot global position. All right, let's see what that looks like. Probably going to be a mess. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have this automatically grow everything too. That did not work at all. What happened? Is it going somewhere else? I think drop off item takes the position. Oh, I see what you're saying. I also am not adding this anywhere, so nothing knows where to put this. The town should probably know that, I guess. Where do we add ground items? I think they have their own node. This is not going to be good, is it? No, this is not going to be good. All right, well, we could add it as a child of the slime. Let's try that. Chef slime dot add child item. This is going to be a little bit weird. And then what Kevin is suggesting is that we pass in the position in here. This is the location from the crop, I guess. Item dot position. Global position. I'm not sure. I'll try this out. I've almost certainly messed something up here. Oh yeah, that's true. The slime is going to get it eventually. In fact, I shouldn't even need to add it anywhere. Oh, cool. Okay, so that kind of worked. It flew in from some like random coordinate on the bottom and it was pretty fast. But if we can just get that to start at the correct coordinate, I think it should be okay. So how does this drop off work? If there's a position, it adds it to this. Okay, so we don't need to do this anymore. So that can be deleted. It's going to get added anyway. And then I just messed up whatever this position is. Start position equals start position. End position equals get drop off point. This is a global position, right? I just don't know. Let's just change this. I don't know. I'll put no thought into this at first. And if it still doesn't work, then I'll put some thought into it. Oh yeah, one other thing we got to do is make it stop requiring us to mature the plants ourselves. So where do we have this debug fill farm? Yeah, now let's go through every crop that we have. Debug grow crops, what does that do? Do I even call this anywhere? What's doing this right now? Nothing? Okay, fine. Just call this like 10 times, I guess. Yeah, sure. There, that looks pretty good. I didn't know I wanted 10. Who knows? Maybe it's listening. There aren't even 10 maturity stages, but yeah, whatever. If it works, it works, right? It didn't work. Oh, each time it only does it once? What, you can't call this 10 times in quick succession? Why not? Oh, because it requires process to do anything else? That's dumb. We should be able to call this multiple times. Fine. It's better than nothing. Okay, so I clicked. Oh, nice. That actually worked. Wow, that was easy. I told you I'd put no thought into it. And I did put no thought into it. I think this looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so now we have to not have it be a pumpkin every single time. So where do we make a pumpkin? Item ID dot pumpkin here. So the crop has a crop ID. We need something that converts crop IDs into items. It should be pretty easy. Public item ID, item ID. How do you do this? Oh, yeah, that would be smart. Easy. All right, now we just go plop this in over here. Item ID, item ID. Come on, come on. All right, then underneath scene path, we put that down. So item ID colon. I would have expected that to be a little bit smarter, but at least it knows where I want to edit this afterward. So this is just the AI doing that stuff for me. That's pretty nice. Does not have a parameter named item ID because I did not capitalize it. And now this should work. Good. And now we can just use that. So where the farm uses, I already lost it. We just say crop.item ID now. So now what's Testeroni doing? It's getting the chef slime and calling drop off item on it. Can we just, should we just make that public? I mean, technically it's not correct to make it public. Technically, I should have something in the town listening for that we harvested a crop. Do we have anything that does that already? No, we don't. Fine, we'll do it the right way. All right, so the same thing we did over here. There should be a harvested thing. Yep. And we put that in the farm. Is there even an action there? Correct and working. If only they could always be easy. All right, so harvested crop. Oh, it's the name of the method. Ah, drat. So this should be renamed to on harvested crop or something. Wait, I messed that up. On harvested crop. And that way the signal can just have the name that Kevin's okay with. And now we can just call that here. Cool. So now all of this can go into the Testeroni function. Cool. This takes in a crop. Cool. And then this is called on harvested. I'll probably call it crop. Yeah. That's private, and then the chef slime just needs to get that thing, which hopefully it knows how to do. It doesn't know how to do. Well, whatever, then we'll type it. Harvest it. Oh, no, it's not the chef slime, it's the farm. The chef slime requires the farm to exist though, right? Yeah, it does. We could probably put this into here though. Yeah. We don't listen for anything that the farm does? Huh. Do we do this anywhere? Wait, what? No, something's definitely wrong. There should be something that listens for perks, right? Oh, we call unlocked farm, and then that thing tells the listeners whatever it needs. Whatever, fine. Okay. Where do we do this? We'll just put it here, I guess. Farm dot harvested plus equal harvested crop there. Okay. All right. Everything should work now from start to finish here for manually clicking, not for workers picking stuff up yet. That'll be the next step, but that shouldn't be too hard to do. Oh, well, we're always going to get carrots, right? I need to get other things. Otherwise, we're not really testing this. Now there's no way to quickly get rid of these, huh? I don't have a delete all. I only have a create all. All right, well, whatever. Let's harvest all the carrots. And then let's get some different kinds of crops here and make sure that whatever we click. Yeah, that kind of works. It should probably pull it right from where the crop is. And that might be a little bit difficult to do. Because it's not super convincing right now. That shouldn't be too bad though. Where do we do this? We only get the crop. We would need to know what the position is, right? Yeah, we're pulling it from the crop. How do we figure out where it is? I guess it depends on the type of crop. Because we have two. We have whole harvest crop and we have fruiting crop. This has the fruit sprite, so we can get the position of that. This is just the regular position. So crop should probably expose some position that we need here. Public, virtual, vector 2, like item harvest position or crop harvest position, item harvest position. That's probably fine. And how did we do this? We made it the global position of the crop. Yeah, so it'll just be the global position by default. And then the fruiting crop will override this to be the fruit sprite's global position. And then instead of creating it just using the crop's global position, we'll get the item harvest position. That might work. It might not. I think items are centered, so it should be fine, but we'll try it out. Okay, so we need all the different kinds of crops. We click this, and then we just click these, and we shouldn't see it fly anywhere different. I think it's working. I think the whole harvest crops, it should be a little bit lower maybe. These other ones, yeah, these other ones look fine. They're maybe dropped a little bit low. No, hold on. Something is slightly off about this. How are items centered? This is centered at 0, 0. The item is at 0, 0. What's causing this to be off then? The fruit is centered. I don't know. I don't know why it looks like it's dropping by a couple of pixels. For these, I would understand. But for the ones that have fruits on them, I don't think I understand why. We should probably drastically slow this down. Let's go do that. Now I can actually tell what's happening. Drop off item, fly functions, fly. Yeah, so we'll just set the duration to be here. We'll just set it to be like 15 seconds. There. So now it'll take forever and we'll be able to see the position change. And we only want to do this with the fruiting crops. Probably just save like this. Okay, so I click this. Yes, it definitely drops down. Why would that happen? We're getting the fruit sprite's position here. And then when we harvest, we're pulling from that. Crop inherits from its, huh? I don't know. Is it the outline? Is it? I don't know. I guess we could try it by just deleting the outline. What even has the outline here? Fruit outline holder. Yeah, this has a material. Okay, so what if we set this thing to have a line width of 0? I don't even think we can do that here. Yeah, no, maybe we can. Okay, let's set it to, I don't know, 5. And set this thing to 5 as well. And then just restart. If it is the outline, this is going to be really obnoxious to figure out the right way to do this. So I'm kind of hoping it's not that. No, it looks like it's being offset the same amount, I think. But again, very, very difficult to tell. So now let's set this to 10. And that way, it should be incredibly obvious. Yeah, okay, good. So it's not based on the outline size. That's definitely a good thing. Now let's revert those things. So what is happening when we create an item? We're not even setting its position at all. Turn off collision shouldn't matter for that. We're just setting it to this. I guess we'll put a breakpoint here and we'll see what this is doing. So I just click the very first one every single time. The position it's getting set to is this, -156, 445. So this is the position that we're seeing. And this is a little bit too low. But otherwise, I think the X coordinate is probably fine. Whoops. What's going on here? Oh, it's broken in. But I can't go back to VS Code for some reason. Hello? Hello? There we go. I can't click this. Oh, what in the world? I don't think I've ever seen that before. Somehow duplicated VS Code. Are you seeing this too? Yeah. Weird. Hey, Reed. Ah, yeah, that was weird. Yeah, I think that's too low, but I think the X coordinate was fine. And then we need to examine what this crop, where this crop is and everything. All right, let's try this out. Okay, so I click this. What is the crop's position? This should be something small, yeah. And then its global position should be different from its item harvest position, right? Okay, that is what I think is wrong. What kind of crops does it think it is? How do I even figure that out? Is fruiting crop? Thinks it's a fruiting crop. So then shouldn't it go into this thing? Oh, maybe we could just get its fruit sprite. Fruit sprite dot global position. Crop does not contain a definition for fruit sprite. We need to do it this way. Yes. Okay, that's unexpected. The fruit is located at 0, 0. Oh, it is. Why? Oh my God. Oh my God. I know what's going on. Oh, wow. I just need to apply my brain. The item graphics are bottom aligned, but the crop graphics are centered. There's some padding around this. Oh. Drat. Okay, this is going to be a little bit difficult to figure out because we need to figure out the nearest multiple of 16 and then manifest a padding. All right, well, let's try that out then. This is 64. So if we go down to 16 pixels, it's there. So the padding on a pumpkin should be 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels. Okay, let's do this, I guess. Where's crop data? Int sprite offset Y. There might actually be an X offset as well. So maybe we just make this a vector too. Sprite offset when harvesting. And then we just say the items sprite sheet bottom aligns sprites, but crops are centered. Do we need the crop items to use the same sprite sheet? Is it worth changing that instead? So either way, we're going to have a problem here. The reason why they're bottom aligned in this sprite sheet, sorry, the one with the items, is because when workers hold it over their heads, that way it looks like it's actually in their hands. If it were 4 pixels higher, it looked like it's floating above their heads. Yeah, and that's the main reason why we did that. Does it have a native database or object-like representation for things like your item dictionary? So asking Godot in this case, it'd be a language feature that would store something like this. So does Godot have its concept of dictionaries and stuff? Yes, but they're not the kind of thing I think I'd want to use for this. Hey, Kobold, welcome in. Howdy, everybody. I believe I have not rated your stream, but you're also in game dev, right? Yeah, what are you working on? And howdy, everybody. Hey, Coolbox. Correct. Yeah. Those are resources which can hold whatever. Yeah, and in C#, I don't think there'd be much of a need for using that. Working on a speedrunner puzzler movement thing. Oh, cool. And thanks for the reset. What did you just say to me? Hey, hard-coded. Demo for Skeleseller is now mine. Hard-coded. Yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen the game I'm working on, I'm making Skeleseller. Let me see if I can run this right now. I had a breakpoint somewhere. Yeah, okay, we can turn that off. Yeah. In Skeleseller, you hire adventurers, you send them into battle, and they earn items for you. So I'm going to send some adventurers into a battle here. It's a very laid-back game. The battles are automated, and the items we get from this are actually fruits and stuff, which is because I'm testing something. And this is eventually going to be a fiery slime that cooks the food for you. But most of the items would be potions and stuff that you sell in your shops. And you get money and you use it to upgrade your town. What we're working on now is making it so that you can harvest crops manually or your workers can harvest them. So what we were doing is when you click this, you can actually see it jumps down a few pixels. And I'm correcting that offset right now. Also contains skeletons and is totally laid back. Yeah, do you want to share a link? Got to run to a meeting? Thank you, hard-coded. Yeah. Yeah, this game is on Steam if people would like to wishlist it. What we're doing right now should not take very long, I hope. So let's go get all of these and just make a new vector to 0, 0 for right now. And then we need to get, the pumpkin is supposed to be 4 pixels lower. Or maybe 4 pixels higher. How do we say this? I'm going to say -4 and we're going to add it. Yeah, so the item harvest position is going to be this plus all crop data dot get crop ID dot sprite harvest offset. So now pumpkin should look correct, I think. Let's try that out. Best I have right now is Twitch clips. Yeah, sure. I mean, I could just write a note to take a look. I'll write that for my tomorrow notes. Look into Kobold's game. Yeah. But yeah, neat. I like looking at what other people are doing. All right. So let's see here. We only manifested this for pumpkins, and we only have carrots, so we need pumpkins. There's one. Oh, is it clicking this should not make it look like it moved. No, it moved very high. I think I did this in the wrong direction then. I think we need to say that this is +4. Well, let's just manifest all of them, because positive or negative should be pretty easy to figure out. So carrots, how do we figure out where carrots are? Where are the carrots? Here. All right, so we draw a 16 height box, and that should be 2. All right, so carrot is 2. Grape, where is grape? Here it is, 32. We draw a 16 tall box. That is also 2 pixels. Okay, they're probably all 2 pixels. Peppers. That's 2. Yeah, that's 2. Why were pumpkins 4 then? Tomatoes have to be larger than that, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, tomatoes are 4. All right, let's just try that out. Linky link. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Where is this? Neat. Like the 4 random words. Yeah. Yeah, they did that a long time ago. I think it is nice though. Okay, I think it did move by 1 pixel, which is possibly a sprite sheet problem. That's not right. These are still moving. Why are they still moving? What? 16. It's 4 pixels. Huh, I don't understand. Oh, because of this. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Yeah, whoops. Yeah, we need to add this in. Oh, that was spooky. I thought I messed everything up. I mean, in a way I did mess everything up, but not in a way that's hard to fix. All right, so now everything should look good from the Y coordinate perspective. No, turns out I'm adding too much. So we need to subtract it for the fruits, but we need to add it for the crops, the whole harvest ones. I think I know the reason why. Yeah, I know the reason why. Because for the whole harvest crops, this is not centered correctly. The plant itself is centered above where the ground is. So we need to account for that. And then we do need to subtract these things. Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, easy enough to fix. So these vector 2s, we just put a minus sign. And then for whole harvest crops, we also add in some extra thing, which is I guess like 8 pixels. This is kind of dumb to even have this, huh? Yeah, it kind of is. All right, let's delete this. Modifier virtual is not valid for this item. Yeah, sure, let's do that. Go to whole harvest crop, plug that in. We need to import Godot. Numerics, no, not numerics. I want numerics here. And then we add 8. And that 8, we're going to need to put a const float. This is like distance from crop center to harvested item center. Yeah. Your whole sprite sheet and offset is all giving me nightmares, not going to lie. The reason we're doing this is, hang on one sec. Oh, this should be vector 2.1 times this. We have two different uses for these sprites. There are crops and then there are items. And what we're doing when we are converting these is we're converting a crop into an item. And it's a different sprite sheet sprite altogether that happens to look identical. um, yeah, I guess we could tell items to use crop data, but then we need to have workers hold them at a different height. Because the whole reason all this stuff is made a little bit more challenging is when a worker picks up an item. So let me take a picture of this. That pumpkin needs to look like it's in the worker's hands. And it does right now. And the reason for that is because we lowered the item graphics as low as we could in the sprite sheet. So this is bumping right up against the one beneath it. Whereas in the crop sprite sheet, they're centered. And I guess what we could have done is we could have made all these crops not centered and then changed them in the editor. Anyway, this is a quick solution. And it's working. Yeah, nice. Okay, now the only issue we have is that these are moving slightly in the x coordinate, and those are moving greatly in the x coordinate because I shouldn't have done that. This should have been vector 2 dot down. These outlines are also giving me nightmares. What outlines? You mean the broken sprites in here? That I'm going to probably fix today. It's just an editor problem. Oh, and the sprite sheets. Oh, these are, so I didn't make this sprite sheet. Yeah, and we're not even using these sprites. We could just delete them all because we draw the outlines dynamically. But this is an asset pack I got online, and I just didn't modify the sprite sheets. You should make a roller coaster tycoon style ability to pick up a worker. You know, a lot of people have asked for the ability to click every NPC they see in town and just figure out, like, what's their name? What are they all about? What are they thinking? So we might do something like that eventually, but I don't know about dragging workers. Okay, yeah, this is all looking good. So the offsets are changing very slightly, and that is just a problem with needing to move the items in the item sprite sheet. Where's the fish? Why is the fish not here? Revert? Revert? Ah, there's the fish. Okay. I'll never know what you were saying. Sad face. It's too bad ads are even a thing. Okay, so I guess the thing we should do now is test which ones look like they're off. Grapes are fine. Pumpkins are off by 1 pixel. We should actually just be able to compare the same way we just did over here, right? Like we figure out where is the nearest multiple of 30 or of 16, and it's off by 1 pixel. So I must have messed that up over here. The nearest multiple is 48. I'm off by 1 pixel. No, it should be the same. What? Welcome back, Poolbox. Man, I have no idea what this thing even means then. How did you not get the full amount of ads? Anyway, what I was saying, it doesn't matter. I think the only important thing is these outlines inside the sprite sheet are because we bought an asset pack and I just never deleted these. And we don't use them anywhere. So if I were to just like blanket delete these things, nothing would change in the game. So probably at some point we should consolidate sprites or something, and I'm just probably never going to put in the effort to do that. Why is this moving by 1 pixel? The pepper's moving makes sense, and the apple's moving. I'm actually, you know what? Let's not consider that an issue right now. Let's just move on. Yeah. We use a shader for highlighting stuff. Yep. Okay, so fly functions. We're going to change this back to what it was. And let's just see, does this look kind of good enough? Because if so, then we can move on to automating item pickup. Click, 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 click. Yeah, I think this looks fine. Okay. Neat. Apply it to the slime. That's done. The cropping of an item source. All right, this shouldn't be too bad. And then once we get this working here, we can do it for fish. Fish are going to work a little bit differently. Fish are going to probably just pop out of the portal when you catch them. This is looking good. This should be checked in on its own, though. Yeah, let's do that. Grow crops one stage each via debug function. Via right-clicking. From what? Debug, fill, farm? Yeah. Okay, cool. What do we have? Looks good. We can't check that in. Soon as I gotta start being picky about this, fine. So we do want this. And we want this. There. Okay, crop looks good. Fruiting crop, yep. Whole harvest crop. Yep. Crop data looks good. Farm plot. Oh yeah, so harvested fruit is now no longer needed. Well, that's sad. I make them fly from the pond directly, or do you want them to be picked by workers for sure? Let's talk about that when we get to the fish stuff. Because for now, I need to finish the crop stuff. Harvested fruit. What is this doing? Interesting. We don't need this anymore. I don't think we need any of this anymore. No, we don't. Okay, let's delete it. Actually, I want to do the deletion of this in the next commit, maybe. It all kind of does belong in this commit. Fine, I'll delete it from you. All right, so this whole thing needs to go away. And that means harvested fruit, the C needs to go away. Oh, that popped up on my other monitor for some reason. And then we need to delete the line of code that we had there. Yeah. So now harvested fruit shouldn't show up. Oh, this is a different kind of harvested fruit. That's fine. All right, now we're checking all of that stuff. Okay, pretty cool. So the changes that we're not checking in are these debug things. The changes we are checking in are these, and these should look good. Yep. This also opens up some kind of interesting space here. We could make it so that you get crops from more than just your farm. Maybe you kill some kind of like, I don't know, vegetable creature and it drops carrots or something. Yeah. There should be one unused import that I had somewhere. I'm not sure that that I deleted it. Or that I'm even correct in what I'm talking about right now. Whatever. All right, I'll check this in. So what do we do here? Allow manually harvesting crops. Instead of creating a graphic that floats upward, it now creates an item that floats to the slime. Cool. Okay, make crop an item source for workers. Let's go do that. So this is going to be like ground item source in that we need to implement this interface. And crops are going to turn into that for workers. Oh, this is going to be... It's going to be a little bit difficult because we got to play the right animations and everything too. All right, let's start with this. This is going to be item source. And we implement the whole interface. And put them all at the bottom. So the pickup point is presumably going to be the item harvest position, right? Yeah. Item harvest position. Public message, yeah, I don't care about that yet. Has item should be that this crop is ready to be harvested. Yep. Get item should be to get the item ID. This is all pretty easy so far. Remove item. I'm not totally sure what that should do. Oh, probably harvest the crop. What does it do over here? Remove item actually returns the item as well. So this should harvest the crop and return the item. How do we say that we've harvested this? I guess just with harvest. Restore item is not a concept that exists here. I don't think we need to do anything for this. Then we just say return, or no, return just empty. It's intentionally empty. And is source the ground can return false. I think. What is this used for? This controls some behavior. This behavior, what is this? Entities bringing items to shops rather than warehouse, blah, blah, blah. Okay, why? This is whether or not the warehouse can be accepted as a destination. I don't think we need this. Would there ever be a time you can't cook food in the game? And the only thing I can think of is that you're maxed out on how much cooked food you have. No. We should always let you cook the food. We should just probably make it clear when you hit your maximum. Because otherwise your warehouse will fill up with food, and food has no monetary value. These are all worth 0. So if we brought this to the garbage slime, it'd presumably be worth nothing. It's apparently still worth 1 gold. Because I think we have a minimum set. I don't think that's a problem. You are not incentivized to sell these things for 1 gold, right? And it should never be worth more than 1 gold. If I speed this up and we also buy this thing, makes it get hungrier faster. Oh, I guess it could critically eat the food. 1 gold. 1 gold. I'm guessing this will offer 2 gold. No, 3 when it critically eats. Why is it 3? What is that? Value bonus 125%. Oh, and it rounds up. Yeah, I still don't think this is a problem. Yeah, I don't think it's a problem. I do think that's a problem. This tomato doesn't really look centered there. Is this too far to the left? 1, 2, 3. I think we need to move this 1 pixel. All right, let's try that. Anchor and export and that. Cool. Yeah, I think we're just done with that. We need to move where these functions were defined, but this was pretty simple. Does it work now? So can workers pick up crops? Let's see. Oh, they're never told to go over there. So maybe they could, but they're never gonna know that they can go there because we don't find them as item sources. There should be a pickup item somewhere. Yeah, how does this find a target? Oh, a state prior to this one will have added this. Where do we figure that out? Worker wander. Find ground item versus find warehouse item. And we prioritize the ones on the ground. Okay, so I think we need to figure out what the worker priorities are going to be. So suppose there's an item on the ground, an item in your warehouse, and a crop that's ready to be harvested. What should the priorities be? And I think it should be ground, warehouse, crop. No, Spiro, thanks for converting your Prime sub. Thanks for giving me motivation to play with Unity again. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what you make. Yeah, I think this should be the priority. So basically what we do here is if they didn't find a ground item, then try to find a warehouse item. If they didn't find a warehouse item, then try to find a crop. So what does find warehouse item do? If occupied storeroom display is that. Okay, so we'll put a Boolean here. And we'll have this return whether or not this thing was null. Yeah. Okay, so now if not find warehouse item, then find crop to harvest, I guess. Okay, how are we going to do this part now? So how do warehouse items work? Get random actionable warehouse display, get random item on ground. So I mean, I guess we can just do this from here. Public static item. It's not even an item display. It's an item source. Oh, God. Oh, please tell me that's not going to be a problem. What does this return? Ground item source? All these things just need to be item sources. Yeah. This doesn't matter then. Also channeling item for motivation. Happy to help. Yeah, so I think we just need to make a function here like get random crop to harvest. And this will return a crop. We don't really care that it's a crop. We just care that it's an item source. In fact, that's all that's going to be converted anyway, right? Do we do anything with that? If it's not null, then just set it. Yeah, this doesn't matter. Same thing there. It doesn't matter. Okay, yeah. So then this can just be an item source. So we get the town, and then we need to get all the crops that are ready to be harvested. Source. Farm. I guess we could just say if pound.farm is null, return null. Otherwise, get all of the crops. I don't think we have a way of doing that. No, we don't. Because we never needed it. Yeah, we don't have anything like that. Okay, well, how hard is it to do this? I guess we just go through all the plots. Fine. Public list. These are crops, though. They have to be the item sources, right? Crop, like crops ready to be harvested. I think we can just say, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. Botland question mark? Are you wondering what happened to Botland? Because it was discontinued, but it's in the process of being open source. I talked to Eltman and I asked, like, what's a rough timeline for that? And he said probably the end of the summer. I don't know how many people that code is going to be valuable to. Okay, so we just get the crops ready to be harvested and then can convert to I item source. Sure, it can be a list of crops. I don't really care. I just didn't want to import this. Not that it makes a difference. Yeah, and then get a random one of these things. This is a list, so we can just do sample 1, 0. Sure. I don't know why I did that. All right, and then instead of calling it items on ground, it's going to be crops ready to be harvested. Okay, now we call that from here. Pretty much the same way we did up there. That was not bad. I don't like that all of these look pretty much identical. Yeah, so I want to consolidate those. But I'll write that down here and we'll just make sure this is working. So clean up, consolidate all of the worker wander functions to find an item. They basically just take in a function, call it, check to see if this thing was null or not, and then return true or false. So it should be very easy to consolidate those. But I want to test this and see if it's working first, because maybe that's not the best way to do things that I just did. Let's try this. So we're going to go make a bunch of workers. They should go down to the farm. They look like they're going there. Okay, it kind of works, but they're duplicating items. I know they're walking over the fence as well. This is super cool. It's all starting to come together. All right, now let's plant some different crops here. Yeah, so we got to stop the double harvesting. And the navigation stuff we'll fix later. What happens when we turn this on? They should just do everything from start to finish now, from planting the crops to harvesting them. And they shouldn't be able to harvest them unless they're fully mature. So I'm just going to leave this and we'll just see what happens. Well, I guess I should speed it up a little bit, huh? So not until a crop is ready will they harvest it. Should be pretty soon. There's a carrot. Yeah, neat. There's another little problem here, which is that when this thing is full, workers could go all the way down to the bottom. These probably need to have enough separation to allow workers to move between the crops. Yeah. I'll write this here. Nav, we probably want to make crops into obstacles for workers so that they don't walk over the entire farm to harvest something at the bottom. Yeah. Okay, so the double harvesting, let's go fix that. That is happening because in here I call harvest, but there need to be two different harvest functions. One is manually harvested and the other one is automatically harvest. And the manually harvested one is going to call this. And this calls into the town and the town does whatever that was. Just crop. Yeah, this creates an item. So this should only be done if it was you who clicked this. This is virtual though. Why do child classes override this? To hide a sprite? Okay, I think we put a boolean here that says something like automatically is manual harvest. I don't know. I don't know what I want to call this yet. The only difference is when you manually harvest, it automatically puts this thing into its destination, right? Yeah, that's it. Why does it get invoked with a tween? Because this calls up to the farm. And the farm listens for this and waits for this to finish before it does this. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's something like this. I don't know, whatever. We'll just call it as manual harvest for now. And when it was manually harvested, we'll just invoke this thing like that. All right, so this is going to be manually harvest is false because that's with a worker. This one is going to be true because that's from you clicking it. And then we need to invoke this properly. On crop harvested, bool is manual harvest. Yeah, we're getting there. So if this is not a manual harvest, we just don't do anything. Yep. Which means we should probably just not invoke this function at all, huh? This should probably be called like manually harvest crop. Yeah, let's do that. This is manually harvested crop. And where does that come from? Here it is. All right, bool is manual harvest and if is manual harvest. There we go. They'll still play the sound. They'll still do whatever else they do. This thing's going to go away. There's one other thing I'm missing here, right? No, maybe that's it. Let's try that out. I see all the workers going to harvest one crop. Yeah, there's no coordination between the workers. And we might want to address that at some point. What is this? Oh, this is manually harvested crop. Maybe this should be on manually harvest crop. Yeah, that'd probably be better. That way I don't confuse that function in the future. And like I said, we're not going to fix the nav issues now. I think we need to change the map around a bit for that. So let's just try this out. So now they should just pick up a carrot and then bring it to where it needs to be. Yeah. And it should be making sounds, I guess. Huh. Yeah, I think it's working. Neat. So they should prioritize things that are in the warehouse. So if I click this button and then harvest a bunch of crops, actually they prioritize things on the ground first. So they should be going to the ground right now. I'm going to put these things here. There. Now let's just zoom out and watch this. Then once all the ground items are gone, they'll go to the warehouse. There. So now they'll go to the warehouse. Why are you harvesting stuff? Oh, because there are no item destinations in the shops. So they're smart enough to know that. Okay, yeah. So if I were to free up one of these, which I can't even do. Let's do that though. Okay, so if I free up one of these, now... Oh, now these characters fill in the extra slots. So I need to get rid of like 10 of these. That'll do it. It's so cool. It's all working. Yeah, very neat. Hey, Ingvar, and thanks. Make these things grow a little bit faster. So technically, this perk is named wrong now, right? Well, not named wrong. It's still hard working, but it says makes your adventurers transport and stock items just like you. Did this just freeze? Did it break in? Element limit reached. What? That's strange. Let's open up activity monitor. Godot not responding. It's not using like a crazy amount of memory, although it is using more memory than I would expect. Although I guess this is shared memory between the CPU and the GPU. So there's some amount of VRAM being used here too. I don't know what happened with this. Let's look this up. It makes it sound like we've allocated too many things. Does nobody crash when creating a large number of objects? Yeah, this is exactly what I hit too. This is a fixed limit added in this. How many is this set to right now? Chunk limit. I didn't do some like massive expansion like this though. Well, this is a big problem. Maybe a leak. I don't know if it's a leak. It sounds like other people are hitting this in cases that their games used to handle. There might be a leak though that's causing this. I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that. This is the, what is this called? Element limit reached issue. Maybe we're leaking nodes. We could look into that. Yeah. Let's do something here. If, how do we even check this? I don't know. Like this. Okay, so if you press page up, then print orphan nodes. And let's just try that out. There are some expected nodes that won't have a parent. They're the cached battle map nodes, I think, which I don't even know if we still have those. Well, let's see what happens when we print this. Stray node. Yeah, I think these are all expected. Yeah, these are the item rewards. Those are expected. So if we make a bunch of crops and stuff, and I guess make some workers here, this shouldn't change yet. It thinks some of these sprites are orphaned. That's interesting. The crops that fly to the chef are not freed. Yeah, that's entirely possible. Did this just clear? What happened here? Copy all. Yeah, just 10,000 lines of output there. Okay, yeah, sure. I'm willing to believe that. So we have cook item, remove child. There's no freeing this thing, is there? I wonder what's responsible for doing this for the recycler. Live functions, scrap item. This calls free. Yeah, we're just not calling free. Does it ever call remove item? It does, but then it frees it. Yeah, I'm not freeing it. Chef slime. So cook item should just also free the thing. Oh, it does free the thing. What's it doing? We're making an item somewhere that we shouldn't be, I think. But it seemed like it was happening even when I just made crops. Let's try that again. Like, I don't think I needed to harvest the crops. And it's only when you harvest them that you should be getting an item. So we clear this. We press page up. It doesn't print out any items. So we clear this again. Now we plant some items and press page up. It still doesn't show anything. All right, clear this one more time. Make this grow to maximum. Press page up. Aha! We already have like a ton of item nodes. Yeah, so something is creating items just by having a mature crop. Oh, I think I might know what's doing that. I think it's that new item display functions thing that we added in here, huh? Is it? No, this doesn't select an item though. Oh, you know what we could do? We could just put a breakpoint in item create and find out what's making these. Yeah, that should be easy. Okay, we click that. It got hit immediately. Nice. Get item is ready for harvest. Item create. Oh, well, there we go. There's the problem. Oh, man. All right, we need to cache the item then. Although if we're going to do that, I guess there are a couple ways we could do this. One is, as soon as the crop becomes ready to harvest, we create an item, we cache it, and then that's the item that you check for. Yeah, because this thing is an item source, so it should have an item at that point. Okay, I think that's pretty reasonable. Plus then has item makes sense, I guess. Then we just need to make sure we delete this thing, though, when you free this. The problem is that this is this. This is not necessarily get item for the sake of removing the item. It's get item to see if it exists. So we should probably cache the item as soon as the plant is ready to be harvested, and then make sure to free it when you automatically harvest the plant. We don't even need to do that though. It's going to fly into the slime anyway. So not free it. Make sure to use the cached item regardless of how you harvest the item. I guess I got out of control with many workers all checking. Yeah, well, and they probably check every single frame too. Yeah, pretty funny. All right, so this is in crop. So we'll just make a private item here. Private item be harvested. And I'll say this is only set when the crop is actually ready to be harvested. We cache this so that we don't create new items every single time a worker queries this plant to see if its item exists. Okay, now we use that here. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. No, there it isn't. There it is. All right, is ready for harvest. And we return the item that we have. And then we need to create this item as soon as it becomes ready to harvest, which I'm not even sure where we do that. Ah, there it is. Plant just became ready for harvest. Well, isn't that easy? Please tell me that the derived classes call the parent for this. Yes, they do. Cool. So we do item to be harvested equals that. And then instead of creating a new one of these when you manually harvest, which is what's happening in town right now. Yeah, this is item create. We just want crop.item. Get item. What's this turn off collision? We should probably turn this off right from the get-go, right? What is this? Freeze equals true. This needs to be called when the item should no longer collide with anything, like when a worker picks it up. It's stuck on a wall. Yeah, I think we just turn this off immediately. Okay, so let's go back to the crop. And when we create the item, then we turn it off here. It's created with collision? Yeah, I guess so. That should be remove item. So the crop removes it from itself first. What? Oh, this. Oh yeah, also all these public things should be moved higher up. Should be remove items. The crop removes it from itself first. I'm not sure I follow that part. Oh, I think I see what you're saying. In town, we call get item and then call drop off on it. This calls harvest. Doesn't remove it from here. Yeah. This doesn't do what it should probably do. Does the plot ever add the item as a child? No. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because we have a graphic for it anyway. In fact, where is this thing going to exist? It's not even in the scene tree. Yeah, I should probably write that down here too. This won't even be in the scene tree until something harvests the crop. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good. Let's try this out. I still have the orphan node thing printing out, right? So we clear this, we close that. Yeah, it's printing all the normal stuff. Now we plant one crop, which we have no way of doing. Did it just break in? What would have created an item right now? What? Add a thought bubble? Really? That creates an item? Do we ever delete this item? That's very interesting thing to think about. Yeah, we fade it out and then we free the item. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, I did not remember that that happened. So someone's thinking about an item right now. Yeah, that person. Oh, funny. Okay, well let's go plant one crop. We can't plant just one unless we only win one item from here. Oh, darn it, that won't work. Oh, no, we have like a million crops. All right, well, whatever. I guess it's all the same, right? We'll just restart this. Okay. All right, so now there are a whole bunch of items here. But once the workers have harvested them all, and once I click a few of these, in fact, what happens if I click pretty much all of them? I won't be able to click them all because the skeleton's going to beat me to it. Let them grab that one too. Okay, so now there should be no stray items. Let's clear this and let's print. And yeah, no stray items. All right, not bad. Now let's have that run in overtime. How do we do this? This. All right, how's that? Nice. Cool. Okay, now we got to consolidate all these worker find functions. Let's go get rid of the town thing that I just did with page up here. It doesn't matter. Should probably make a snippet for printing orphan nodes. Make a snippet for printing orphan nodes. No, make a snippet for using page up to do something. I do that a lot. Maybe you can just have print orphan nodes in there by default. All right, so that bug is done. Consolidate worker wander functions. That's what we're about to go do. So all of these just need to call a function. Private bool find item source. So this is going to take in a function that takes in an entity. How do we do that? A function that takes in an entity that returns, I guess we need to make these things all have the same definition at the end. An item source function. So we call this, and then we do all this stuff. Yeah, that's easy. Okay, great. So finding a ground item is just find item source with that. Wait, why'd that turn red? What's going on here? Oh, we don't have function imported? Was that come from system? And then entity is not really entity. It's a node. Yeah, it's a node. Okay, yeah, cool. All right, so now we call this with that. Return that. Done. Love deleting code like that. All right, then we return the same thing over here. Done. And the same thing over here, which should probably be next to this. This is get random crop to harvest. Now the only question is, oh, that should be Boolean. Wait a second. Why was that not? Oh, I guess we just don't need the Boolean from that. So now the only question is, are we calling this one place each time? In which case, could we just get rid of these little helper functions here? And I don't really care. Yeah, this can be merged, sure. This only works because of short circuiting though, and I don't like that because now it's a sort of implicit thing as opposed to being explicitly different if statements. But yeah, not a big deal. Yeah, I think I like this. I think this is fine. All right, that was easy. Okay. And okay. Wow, neat. Look at this progress. Clicking a mature crop shouldn't just convert it into food. Done. Probably delete that. Done. When manually dragging, right clicking should drop it. That's no longer a task anymore. Add a sound effect when cooking an item. Yeah. So now we need to do this with fish, which I know I put something on hold for that. Kevin had brought something up earlier, so we need to talk about that in a sec. This is crops ready to be harvested. This is not cached, so we're computing this every single time. I'm going to leave it for now. I don't want to prematurely optimize. All right, so we don't check that in. We do check in the very slightly modified Oryx item. Shouldn't I have done this before? What was the last commit? Get log -1. Allow manually harvesting crops. Yeah, I think we amend the last commit with that. Yeah, okay. So now all instance data, we do not check this in. We do check in the farm. We only check in this part and this part. Hey, push toy. Okay. Crop, what changed here? We cache an item. We now have a Boolean for whether or not we've harvested this thing. I should probably write a comment for why this is blank, that just this concept doesn't make sense. This is intentionally, maybe we should write that here. You know, here I think it's fine. Here, Amy, this is intentionally blank. It doesn't make sense to restore an item to a crop, especially since that crop would have already started fading out as soon as you harvest the item. Yep. Hey, Cheap. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday. Everything else here I think looks fine. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think this code here, setting this to the crop's harvest position, would not be necessary anymore. Well, it's not necessary from here. What we could do is we could do it from the crop itself when we call create item here, which apparently doesn't happen from here. Where does this happen? Create item. It's not even finding any of these? Oh, it's not called create item. Oh, yeah, of course. It's called item.create. Yeah, that. All right. That means that nothing uses this publicly, right? So this could be made into a private or a protected vector. Protected. Which now means I got to move a bunch of things around. Ugh. All right. So we put that there. Now we need to change it in the overrides that this is protected. Oops. Move all of that at once. Actually, wait, that does belong there still. And then fruiting crop does the same thing. And that's going to be a problem with the ordering of this. Okay, let's try running that. How do you like autocomplete? I love it. I think it's great. But if I don't want a happy Monday, then too bad. You're going to be happy whether you like it or not. Sometimes I just want to tab and start pasting code. Yeah, that part is sometimes annoying that I'm trying to tab in code and instead it accepts the AI thing. But you can either change your keyboard shortcuts or press escape first. He say, how'd you learn to code? Did something guide you in particular? I've got a command that sort of talks about this a little bit. It doesn't really say exactly how I learned to code, but it was just by messing around doing really stupid things for a while. Like when I started out coding, I named all of my variable names one letter. Like you'd have string S and int A. And it was a maintenance nightmare. But I was very young and didn't know any better. And it wasn't until I started taking formal coding lessons that I learned like what a class is in coding. I didn't know about object-oriented coding. I just basically wrote functions for things. So I've grown a lot as a dev. Still doing the same thing so many years later. No, instead of a for loop saying int I, it says int for loop index value so that Ramy doesn't complain. Sure, my variable names are 70 characters long now, but that just means I'm a 70 times better at developing. All right, go get those crops. So so cool. Even naming I still use int I. Yeah. For for loops, I don't think that's a problem. Also, there are some times when a single letter variable name is probably just totally fine. Although I'd say most of the time it's like you're doing math equations or something. Imagine if you're doing like, I don't know, m times g times h or whatever in some physics formula. It's like, yeah, okay, that's probably fine. Sure, you can make it like, name it gravity or something, but that makes sense in that context. Last week I shared with my brother some code I wrote in my first year of university. Going back to that was an experience. Yeah. You know, my viewpoint on this has changed a lot over the years. Originally, I always thought, oh man, that's embarrassing, or oh, it's cringy to look back on that. Now I just think if you look back on something and you think you were an idiot at the time, it probably means you've grown since then. So just look at it glass half full as, okay, you've grown or you've learned. So did you say you're mostly self-taught? No. I don't think I would say that. I think this part is very important here. I got a bachelor's degree in computer science. That was at least 4 years of my life that I was spending working on that. I had professional jobs where I learned from other people. I don't know. I read articles and books and whatever else. I don't know. I don't know what you consider self-taught exactly. Because is reading a book teaching yourself? Some people would probably say yes, but isn't that just another person teaching you via a textbook? I'd say self-teaching is probably like discovering something for yourself. So someone sits you down with a coding language and they're just like, okay, get going. So yeah, I guess it depends on how you define it. Hey, Half. Some of that code I still have, and it's terrifying. Yeah. Hey, right, Twix. I got a computer science degree, but I wouldn't necessarily say it taught me how to code. Yeah. I think so much of this conversation probably comes down to how you define certain terms. Like, did I know how to code when I was writing things with single letter variable names and like just spamming functions everywhere? Like, yeah, kind of, I guess. Did I know how to write maintainable code? Certainly not. 81 button variables. Oh, man. Guess you learned Java in university. I think we did Java. God, I'm trying to remember now. I think we did Java, C, C++, a Lisp variant called Scheme, and maybe Python, I think, were like the main languages that I remember going through there. What are we doing here? We're checking this in, and I lost my train of thought. Let's regain my train of thought and then finish checking this in. So we're not touching that. We're not touching that. We are putting that in the commit. Good. Then this whole file should go in. Yeah. This too. Yeah, this is pretty good. Yep, this is pretty good. So we just don't want to check in that. All right, I'll look over this one more time just to make sure nothing's wrong here. Why is the syntax highlighting wrong on this? That's the only thing that's confusing here. Let's just reload this whole thing. Hey, Potato. Hey, Pleb. Do you have some good book recommendations? I've said this in the past that I have used some books to learn, but I don't think any of them probably withstood the test of time. So it's hard to recommend some of those. Like, for example, I learned JavaScript however many years ago now. If you were to read that same book, I think JavaScript as a whole has changed, but also just the ecosystem of web coding has changed to the point where you'd probably just prefer TypeScript in most cases anyway, in which case a JavaScript book is not going to be the best thing to read. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't have really good ones. One that I do kind of recommend sometimes is something called Game Programming Patterns, at least. This is just a bunch of design patterns with games for examples. And they have a free web version you can read. I think that one's pretty good. Did you got to think, not the code, as our professor said? I mean, they also do teach you how to code at some point. Like, hey, here's a function, here's an if statement. Or at least we did in the CS 101 class. Most of the basic parts of university weren't very helpful. However, later on, it did expand how I thought. I especially like the parts on functional and parallel programming. Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the nice things about any sort of university curriculum is it's probably going to force you to do some things you wouldn't have focused on yourself, which will expose you to those ideas. And I think exposure to ideas is core to so many different things. It's core to just accepting people. It's core to expanding your knowledge. Yeah, there's a lot that helps with. Okay, this is looking good. Did I see yellow there? No. All right, sounds good. Okay, so allow workers to harvest crops. We fixed a leak that would have existed. No, it was only for workers. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so next up, when catching a fish, it should probably pop out of the portal immediately. So this is, let me go back to what Kevin said earlier in the stream, because I want to talk about what's the game design for this first. All right, yeah, here's what Kevin had said. Oops. Okay, so here's how fishing works. How fishing works right now. Your pond gets fish in them. I don't care about that part. We're just focusing on the actual fishing them out. So your pond has fish. I guess we just say, suppose your pond has fish. You start a battle against the pond itself. And then as you do damage to the fish, or actually, I guess after damaging them enough, you catch them. And then at the end of the battle, you get all of the rewards just sort of automatically. Yeah. So we're changing this for sure because we're changing how the rewards thing works. But basically the options that we have here. So now that you get fish and not scales, how should this work? Option number 1 is as soon as you catch a fish, pop it out of the portal as an item on the ground. Oh, or I guess as an item in the warehouse or on the ground. Oh, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Option number 2, I guess is like as soon as you catch the fish, make it appear as an item. And option 1B here is pop it out of the portal as an item in the warehouse or on the ground. And option 1A is pop it out of the pond. Oh yeah, option 2 is as soon as you catch a fish, make it go immediately into the chef slime. And what else could we even do? It's pretty much just those 2 things, right? Oh, I guess we could do something else here. Option number 3, when you finish the battle, give you all of the fish you earned at once. I don't like this. I think it's a bad idea. So it's pretty much a question of these things. And I think what this might boil down to is, should we involve workers for fishing? We already involve adventurers for fishing. So should they need to be involved any more in order to transfer them to the slime? And I'm not sure. I really, truly don't know. I think the answer is yes. I think we probably should. But maybe they should just always pop out of the portal. I'm not positive. Anyway, here's what this looks like. So you build the fishing pond. It starts with 2 fish in it. So now what we can do is we can go to your town and fight the pond. So now we're doing damage to these fish. And when you defeat them, they have a lot of life. Right now, nothing special happens then, but as soon as you flee the battle, you see you got 1 fish scale. So fish scales are going away. That's why we're trying to redesign how should this work. So yeah, should we, as soon as you beat the fish, should a fish just pop out of the portal? This is the eventual destination for it. So if it ended up in your warehouse, they have to walk pretty far to get them there. Should I have a limit to how much you can bring? Have to sneeze. It's not happening. Darn it. The chef will probably have a limit, and you'll probably just start losing the value of those items. Sort of like when you're at your maximum amount of money and you get another item, it's just going to say this every single time. Maximum money reached. So we're probably going to do the same thing with food. It'll just say maximum food reached. Go spend your food or defeat the next elite enemy. So the slime will always accept fish and will always accept crops. And sometimes they'll go to waste. But yeah, I think I want to involve workers. I think I want to. It kind of sucks that the fish might go to the warehouse, which is farther from the chef slime than the portal. Could we lay out the town differently to fix that? This whole block of stuff would need to move. I don't think it's worth doing that. Yeah, I don't think it's worth doing that. And also item stacking will help this out. But it would still be tedious if you got like 400 fish or something. We're not going to make so you need 400 fish though. Hey, who cares? Hey, Euclides? Or with the warehouse south of the portal. Yeah. I don't think I want to rearrange things necessarily. And I'm not sure how I feel about this. So maybe the answer to this is just no, in which case we go with option 2 and everything's fine. If the answer to this is no, then I guess we could just go with option 2. And maybe it should be no. So farming is bring potions to the extractor to plant seeds, then wait for them to grow, and then either click them to harvest or let your workers harvest them and bring the crops to the chef. So fishing is bring potions to get fish eggs. Sorry, I'm trying to close that. Fish eggs. Then it's battle the fish to catch them. This requires adventurers and a battle slot. So yeah, since it already requires some amount of work, maybe having item relocation is not desirable. That's my thinking here. Also, there's no way for you to manually fish. That's impossible. There's no way for you to just like click the pond and get a fish out of it. You have to battle the pond. So yeah, I think we just say no to this. Only thing that seems slightly odd is that crops are items and fish aren't, but I don't know if that's a problem or not. Well, there's no secondary use for this. If there were a secondary use, then you'd need to have them be items so that you could do something else with them. And if we ever add a secondary use, we could just change this decision that was made. Yeah, so here's how it's going to work then. We're gonna... So I have 100 fish in the fishing pond now. It only renders 15 or something, but I have 100 in there. So now when I go into a battle, if I just send everybody into a battle, they're going to fight these 100 fish. Let's turn off the sound effects. It's going to get annoying. And what I'm thinking is either every time a fish is defeated, you see one kind of pop out of the fishing pond and just immediately float over to the slime. That's actually what I'm leaning toward, I think. Yeah. Every time you see a fish get destroyed over here, you just see a fish like launch itself into the chef's slime. I guess it doesn't really make sense. Alternatively, the other sources we could use, we could have it fly out of the portal and go into the slime. It doesn't really make sense given that your pond is right here. Or we could have it fly out of the battle window. But I think you're probably going to allow minimizing battle windows eventually. It'd be cool if we made the right fish fly in. We can't do that though. Oh, unless you mean just the right graphic. Because I was going to say like this fish is representative of actually 6 fish in the pond. So we'd have to make, yeah, we'd have to take the same graphic that was used there, which we could probably do. That could maybe work. I don't think anyone's going to pay such close attention to that after a while, especially because these start out pretty transparent and also kind of small. It's funny that my zombies are even dying here. Yeah, the right graphic. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm leaning toward this then. Okay, so we go with option number 2, which is as soon as you catch a fish, make it immediately go into the chef slime from the pond. All right. So is that what's listed here? Yeah, not really. So I guess as soon as you catch a fish, it should fly out of the pond and into the slime. Make sure the flea tooltip is correct. I don't know what it says right now. All right. As soon as you catch a fish, fly it out of there. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Battle system. There's some fishing battle system, right? Yeah, how does this work? Didn't we have something that checks to see if this thing is a fish? I thought we did. We do, right here. On battle or death event. Wow, look at that. Not num skills earned. Okay, yeah. So what we want to do here is spawn a fish. So there's caught fish. Oh, they're also glowy fish, though. We don't have a way of making an item glow. Oh, man. Maybe this just shouldn't be an item then. Maybe it should just be a fish graphic. Yeah, probably. We don't have it yet. I guess we could figure out whatever's making this thing glow and then put the same shader on an item. But items might eventually have their own shader. Actually, items already do have their own shader, don't they? Let me close all this stuff. Items, sprite, material. No, it does not. I guess we never outline items. But we need to put this on several of these. I don't think making an item makes sense. I think we should just make a fish graphic fly out. Allow for catching fish. So glowy fish. We probably want to just create a fish graphic and fly it into the slime. When it gets there, it's not going to cook an item. It'll just raise your wisdom sludge. And glowy fish means the graphic should be able to have a shader on it, which is just a special shader, right? Do we have like a fish battler somewhere? We don't. How does this work? There it is. Glowy fish shader. And we just add this to the sprite. See, all we need is a sprite then. And it's just going to need to be set to the right fish. And it's going to potentially have a shader. So we need to know if this thing is glowy, which we do from the fish component. That's not too bad. And we can also store in here which graphic we used. Make sure the graphics match the fish you beat. Maybe store its graphic used in there. There might be a different way to do that. Anything else that I need to know? No, I don't think so. We need something that's going to make this thing fly from one thing to another. How does fly functions work? It takes in items. I guess we pretty much just tween its position. That's all that really matters. And the duration and everything is, it's always coming from the pond, so it doesn't really need to matter too much for that either. Okay. Yeah. I think this is reasonable enough. The fish are technically animated, but they shouldn't be animated once you've killed them, right? Like, should they be flipping their little fins around when they're in the air? They could technically still be alive, but I mean, you did like 500 damage to them, so they're probably not. So I think we just need a sprite 2D. This is the craziest G script I've ever seen. This is C#. I'd like you to look at that mock-up PR. I put something pretty silly in there, but I think it's fun. Yeah, sure. I'll take a look. Hey, Omni Digital Tech, welcome in and thank you. This current food. Interesting. So immediately what this makes me think is this is essentially a progress bar. And I wonder if people are going to think, oh, this adventurer has 50 food. I think after using it, you realize how it works. But yeah. I'm just playing. What made you choose C# for the back end? I've got a quick command that answers that there. Looks like it belongs to the rogue's food. Yeah, and I think you'd realize as you're clicking through this and as you're testing it out, you'd realize how this works. And we can make this clearer probably somehow. I'm a little torn for right now, but I think I'm also just not context switching enough to be able to evaluate this. Because I got fish on the mind. Anyway. Okay, so we need to add in a sprite. Yeah, I think it's just got to be a sprite. So basically just... This will just be a sprite that we create, add the shader to, and tween it to where it belongs. At that point, I guess having a class makes the most sense. Or having a scene with its own script makes sense. Yeah, I think there are ways we could probably change it around. I'll need to put some thought on that. Also, hey, Matt. Okay, let's go do this. So we make a new scene. It's going to just be a sprite. Sprite. Make this the root. And this is going to be called caught fish. Then we're going to save this inside of the fishing pond. Yeah. Caught fish. Save. Okay, what is fish in pond? This is just a sprite with a script. It's an animated sprite with a script. Okay, so now let's go add in a script to this thing. Where do you go? Town. We don't have fishing in here? Where do we put all the fishing stuff? Oh, for real? We don't? Okay. I don't know. Probably in scene scripts then? Yeah, scene scripts. Any other fish.cs things that we have? Scene scripts, scene scripts, scene scripts. Okay, fine. We'll put it in scene scripts for now. I get annoyed when scenes reload in Godot and take focus. I forgot the context already of what led to that. Sorry. Yeah. I don't remember what that's in relation to. All right, so it's for scene scripts, and then we'll put this here. Yeah, caught fish. Cool. Save. Okay, so we need a couple of things here. We need to be able to set what graphic this thing is. So like public void init, and we need some kind of like fish identifier or graphic or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, position, glowy, fish graphic. The glowiness is going to come from whatever we did in the fishing battle system, which I think is what Battler has here. Yeah. This should probably use a texture atlas. Oh, wait a second. All the fish graphics are for animated sprites. So maybe this thing should be an animated sprite that just doesn't play its animation. That could work. May make more sense to make this an animated sprite that just doesn't play its animation. Reading through your post. Oh, I see. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad. I thought it was something I said. It was something I put in chat, and I just immediately forgot about it. So I can just inherit fish in pond, maybe. It might be able to, except for it probably wouldn't make sense to inherit the script. The script has a lot of, yeah, animation stuff, finding a new destination. I think it doesn't need to inherit from this. And then this inherits from texture crop? No, it doesn't. How does it not? Oh, because it never gets outlined. Oh, because they never glow in the pond. But they need to glow in the when they're being caught. So this should probably change type to an animated sprite. This script should probably inherit from texture crop animated sprite. And it should be in namespace, sure. Game source scene scripts. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff in here, whatever. We'll figure that out. What is that doing? I guess battlers didn't need that originally, but we'll have this coded already. We'll need to think about that. The rest of this stuff, probably fine. Okay. Delete that. Delete the scale. I don't care about that. Even setting the position doesn't really matter. The parent can just do that. It's either going to have to pass it into the init or it's going to have to call it somewhere itself. Okay, so how about we make a new function here? Public override. Actually, do we have unhandled input? No. Let's go add that in. UI toggle. Yeah, any of this. Sure. Put that in fishing pond. So when you press page up, is it UI page up? I don't actually recall now, even though I just typed it earlier. Hello. I'm going to test that really fast. I should remember this. I do not anymore. This is why I need a snippet to do that. I should probably just add that today. No, it's... Oh, we don't have the fishing pond. Yeah, it is that. Okay, cool. Great. So then that works. Let's go put this call create fishing pond. So I don't need to do that every single time. All right, so this is what's going to create our fish for us. We're going to have like a fly fish into the chef slime. So we're going to instantiate our new scene that we have. This comes from caught fish. It comes from fishing pond. Yeah, fishing pond. Caught fish. Good. So we're going to instantiate this. Oh, we can just do it like that. All right, so there's the fish. We need to add it, I guess, to the pond. It doesn't really matter where we add it. It's going to fly into the chef slime and then get deleted. We need to position it correctly. So fish dot position equals... Actually, no, let's just have it be 0, 0 by default. That's fine. Then we need to initialize it. And we initialize it with something, whether it's glowy or not. I guess let's set that to true. Which means that this thing should only conditionally add this shader if this thing is glowy. And then it needs to tween itself into the chef slime. So we have the fly functions. We could make like a tween fish, but I mean, we could just set up the tween directly in that function because that's the only place it's going to exist. The fishing pond doesn't even know where the chef slime exists, though. It has to exist. It just doesn't know and doesn't have a way of getting it. I think we should probably just make its position public. We don't even need to make the chef slime public. We can just look for any of that sort of thing. Yeah. Chef slime position is chef slime question mark get drop off point. Yeah, and that's technically a question mark there. But we know it's going to exist here. So now we need to make a tween like fly functions does. Property tweener for global position, and then when it's finished, it does something. We set this to a particular value. All right, let's try that out. So this is going to tween the fish. There is no existing tween. this is just going to be fish dot create tween. I guess let's call this existing tween for now. Good. All right, set transition type to whatever the default is over here. What is it? Quad, sure. And set the easing to whatever the default is, in, out, also sure. All right, end position and duration. End position is going to be the town's... Is this a thing that we have? No. Town's chef slime position. We know that has to exist. And the duration is going to be whatever duration looks good. So it's somewhere between 0.1 and 0.6. Let's set it to 0.2 to begin with. Then when it's finished, we need to delete the fish. Fish.free, and then do something here. Make the slime make a sound or whatever. I don't know. And add food. This, what is this? Cannot convert from vector 2 to variant? I don't believe you. Yeah, I don't believe this. Is it because we need to do value here? Nullable value type may be null, but it's not. There, that fixed it. You have to argue with your code every once in a while. Okay, I don't know. Let's try this. Let's see how it works. This should spawn a fish somewhere in the middle of the pool, I guess, maybe. It's wherever 0, 0 is. And then make it fly into the chef slime and then just disappear. It broke immediately. What happened? What's wrong? Unable to cast a sprite 2D to a caught fish. I never added the right script then. Yeah, I never added the right script there. Okay, so now there's a problem because we don't have any sprite frames on this. Because I literally never added one. Let's go add one. Also, we never even gave it a look. It doesn't have a sprite. Even if it has sprite frames now, we gotta add something in here. I guess let's go find the fish thing. I'll just put this here. So now it's gonna look like the entire sprite sheet. Which is fine for now. It's not fine for now. Let's just change it for now. Where did the fish come from? The stork. Where do they come from? Battle map? No. Battle? No. Monsters? Where? World fishing pond. Maybe if I'd read. All right, there. Now we need to select just one of these things. What size are they? 15 pixels by something smaller than this? That looks good. Cool. Let's take whatever the biggest one is for now. This one, sure. Delete this somehow there. Okay, let's try that out. Hey, cool. It's going super fast. How fast does the farm do that? That's much slower. I wonder what that's actually doing, though. Let's look at it. What is it calculating as the duration when I click this? Because that looks pretty good. It's 0.6. So this probably very rarely chooses low numbers. Anyway, that's what that one should be then. Fishing pond should be 0.6. Yeah, it's just way too fast right now. Hey, Shaky. This is not too much Red Bull. Does give you wings. Okay, yeah, that's more reasonable. And right now it's always flying from the corner of the pond. So we need to pick some random point in the pond. That's pretty easy. I think we have a fishing region in here. Yeah, there it is. Fish swim region. This should be dead simple. We just need to go find that function again. And instead of doing this, we say fish.position equals this thing, get a random point. All right. Then we need to make it face the other direction. Are they flying in the wrong direction right now? It doesn't really matter what direction they're facing, I guess. But yeah, sure, let's make them fly the other way. Flip H, done. And then what else? So random point, facing the right direction. Oh yeah, and then also they need to show up on top of the chef slime. Because right now they're showing up beneath the chef slime. So we should probably just add them to the chef slime, not to the fish. But then we wouldn't be able to do this. I'll just write that down for afterward. Yeah, that's kind of just polish. Add the caught fish to the slime so that it shows on top of the slime rather than beneath it. Alternatively, just add the right Z index. Probably easier to just set a Z index that's higher. Because this should go over probably everything there. All right, let's rerun this and then see what still needs to be done. We need to set the right graphics still. I haven't done that. And we need to populate is glowy correctly. Good old thing could be in the chef. Yeah, that's true. Consider moving all of this code to the chef slime. We don't, I just haven't made it public. All right, so now it's picking some random location because it's setting the position to this random point. Is this a global position? Oh God, it is. All right, well then I guess we set the global position to the global region point that we have. I think that's still gonna break though. No, that worked. This looks kind of stupid. We should probably make it take a little bit longer. All right, now let's use the right graphics. All right, so this stuff's done. Yeah, so now use the right graphics and use is glowy correctly. So how do we know which graphic we should use? I think we pick a random one here, right? Get random fish animation. Yeah, hang on one sec. Holy cow, how has it been 2.5 hours? Man, I've had some pretty good momentum. Also, I mentioned, I'm no longer going to mention these by name, but I switched meal replacement products for breakfast, and this new one is much better at keeping me full. I think that's another reason. Maybe I'll start to get hungry in an hour and I'll feel like, yeah, it's lunchtime. All right, random fish animation. We just pick a random number here. We don't tell you what that random number is. But we could technically get that by checking the animation name and parsing. That's not smart. We're not going to do that. But I want to be able to get this so I can store it. And this, I think, is the only place this is ever used. No, there are 2 places. One is here and the other is here. And this one should probably store inside of its isFish component. Which, where does this even get created? Right there. Yeah, this should probably store which animation it used. And then we need to be able to recreate that. So I guess this is get random fish animation. We either need a get an index and then, yeah, like get an index. I guess we have no animations here. This is already, oh, this is private. We can make it public, right? Let me think about this. Make this public. Have the caller get the random number that we want. There's no real reason to do that, is there? No, just get random fish animation index, I guess. Yeah. Get random fish animation index. So this is going to return this. Then this is going to use the random index. Can convert to string. Okay, so now in Battler, what we're going to do is change this. Int fish animation index is that. And then get the animation from, oh, we can't do that. Well, that becomes public, I guess. This is just get animation name. Maybe we call this fish animation index. There's really a row in the spreadsheet. Hey, Cran, where'd you get the graphics? Yeah, check out the credits there. I do fiber in the morning. It helps to not even think about food until end of lunchtime. What do you mean by I do fiber? Like, is there some powder, or are you having like fruits and berries? Are you? I'm curious because all sorts of things exist. Like, there are green vegetable powders. Vegetable powder. Yeah, these sorts of things. And people might say, I don't know if anyone would say I'm eating vegetables as they're consuming this. That would probably make you sound like a weirdo. You're eating powder. Is it? Whoop, I just kicked my keyboard. Metamucil with some electrolyte mix. Powder? Yeah. And how much of that do you have to take? Is it like a large scoop? Huh. Two tablespoons. Okay, that's not too bad. Is it tasty? Because I feel like at least the meal replacement stuff tastes good. And it's got a bunch of other things in it. Do you ever write functions in line, like line 50 to 54? Do you ever do get animation name, int, fish, animation index, fish? Yeah, I do sometimes. And I think that probably makes more sense in terms of just syntax here. But to me, it doesn't make a huge difference. But yeah, we do that sometimes. I'm not very consistent about it. Okay, so this has to be get fish animation or get animation name. So we do this, but then we need to get the fish animation index and store it in this component, which currently doesn't have a way of even doing that. So public int fish animation index gets set, store that here, and then get the component once and not do this many times is fish component FC, I guess. Come on, AI, come on. You're gonna make me write this? How dare you? I pay for you right now. That is not okay. You're supposed to do the work for me. All right, so this stuff looks good. So now when you create a fish, we need to pass in the is fish component. And I believe I just made some like testeroni function right now. But basically the fishing battle system is what's going to know about this. Fishing battle system. Yeah, so instead of this, we're going to do fishing pond.caught fish. And then just pass in its component. Now, caught fish does not take that in right now. It takes in a Boolean. So this is going to be an is fish component FC. And whatever we did here is going to move down to there. So delete this stuff, delete that. Put this down here. Delete all of that stuff. Make this a void. And is glowy, where are you? Here. Okay, so fc.isGlowy. And then there's the animation that we need as well. I guess let's just pass in the fish component. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, now we use this. Take that in. How did that? Oh, I see. Come on. Come on. Okay, good. This is fc.isGlowy. And then we need the right animation. So we say sprite frames.animation. This won't work. We need to do this the way that the battler did it. Oh, interesting. We set its sprite frames there. Starting fish modulate. What in the world is that? Shadow.hide. We don't have a shadow here. All right, well, we got to do these things. So I guess let's delete this sprite dot from here. Whoops, I deleted too much. What is going on there? Yeah. Good. And this is not good. This is fish animation index. Good, good, good. We don't play this. In fact, we probably explicitly stopped this, but it was never set to autoplay to begin with. All right, I think we're in good shape. Let's go try that out. It's not very tasty, but it's not bad either. Important to use a shaker so it mixes well. Yeah. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you for sure. I do wonder, like I was using the meal replacement powders at first, and I didn't like how much extra time I was spending every day with making it and then cleaning the bottles. It's not a lot of extra time, but it's something you do every single day. I like just grabbing a bottle out of the fridge. But yeah, I'm going to consider some more of this stuff. Why object-oriented programming? Why not functional programming? So I think Godot sort of lends itself well to object-oriented programming, given that that's how their scene hierarchy works to begin with. They have a whole bunch of nodes like Sprite 2D, for example. And this inherits from, I don't even know what, like canvas item or something, or no, maybe node 2D, which inherits from canvas item, which inherits from node. So like they already have their object-oriented aspect, and then you compose them how you want in the scene tree. I think it makes more sense for a game. The other thing for games is that if you're not using a language that lends itself well to functional programming, you might run into performance issues. I don't think that's probably an issue with C#. But yeah, a lot of, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we chose to use this. Vince, thanks for the resub. And Lumen, I don't know if I said hi, but hi. How do you decide when inline to right brackets? Does it have any performance difference? So what I would suggest, if you're ever curious about those sorts of things, is either benchmark it or look at the bytecode. And in this case, I wonder if there's some like C# bytecode converter online. Sharp Lab. Yeah, so if I just say, what are we doing here? Let's say public int foo1. And then we try printing foo here. So console dot, what happened there? Right line. What is going on? It's like deleting stuff as I'm typing it. What? You can't type in this editor, apparently. Okay, results, C#. Can we see the intermediate language? Yeah, here we go. Okay, cool. So check this out. So we can look at get foo, and we see this stuff here, right? It is LDC I41. So I'm assuming what this is saying is basically load an integer that takes up 4 bytes and load the number 1. So that's what we see here. Now what we could try is what happens if we turn this into this return 1. And we see this actually did change the bytecode a little bit. I'm kind of surprised about that. Oh, now we have to call this as a function. That's why. Huh. Yeah, interesting. I would have expected this to have produced the exact same code knowing that this is a constant. I wonder if some part of the build chain that I'm using would do that. Anyway, this is heavier than the other one because this is a proper function call that's probably going to push arguments onto the stack before calling it. Yeah, we actually call a function here. So I guess it is technically better to use this style. Invocable cannot be used like a method. So yeah, even main gets, no, main still calls get foo. It is still a function, just the function got a little bit easier. I don't know. And like I said, maybe the intermediate language of what I'm producing is going to be the same. But those sorts of things are worth looking into. And then the other thing to consider is even if they are slightly different, you will almost certainly never notice an impact from that in your code because you're going to have enough business logic that's going to do something that's, you know, like we're rendering a bunch of stuff to the screen. We're iterating over workers to figure out their behaviors. Like probably there's something we can be doing less often or quicker. And you're going to notice that as a difference rather than how you called your function. And it's how you should do foo so it's still a function. I don't think you can. Oh, I already closed it anyway. All right, did we get this working? I think we did, and I think I just didn't test it. So let's do this. We'll grant most things. We'll max out our fishing pond. We'll max that out. We'll max that out. Save so I don't have to do that again. Oh, max out the fishing pond too. Save that. Okay, so now we're going to get into a battle. And what should happen is every time we defeat a fish, we should see that same color fish. Whoops. Hold on a second. Let's try that again. We should see that color fish fly into the slime. And 3 of these are glowy. We should see the same like glowiness thing here too. All right, it is really hard to follow. I guess I should just follow when that fish gets killed, and then we should see a blue fish fly over there. I think it's working. We should see some glowy fish. Yeah. Okay, the slime needs to know when one of these things is glowy so it gives you more food. And it should make the cooking sound. So this is done. This is done. The slime needs to take is glowy into account to give you more food. Why does the slime want glowy fish? I don't know. I, I don't really like how this looks. I don't like there's just a linear path here. I feel like it should maybe like curve over to where the slime is. So we add in some third point and then come up with a Bezier curve that animates this. I'm not really concerned about that for now because I want to find out, do people actually like these systems? I think the other thing that's weird is there are just fish coming out of random points here because these do not accurately represent how many fish you have. And I wonder, right now, the maximum number of fish you can have is 100 in the pond. So we have two different numbers here. We have the max number of fish in the pond and the max number of fish that we render. So like one rendered fish is not equal to one fish that you can catch. And that the way it actually works is it's one rendered fish is roughly like 6 fish that you can catch. But what if we rebalance these numbers and we said your pond can only ever hold, say, 20 fish? Then we make one rendered fish equal to one actual fish. And now we just pull it out of the pond and give it to you. But I still think that's polished, so I don't think I should worry about that. So then, yeah, we're pretty much done with that. Slime needs to take this into account. Consider moving all this code to the chef slime. Add caught fish to the slime. We change the Z index. Yeah. Put it in a sludge. Food is tracked there. The slime shouldn't track it. The farm tracks? I guess the farm is needed for this. Does the farm have food that's accessible outside? No, it's not. All right, who should store this? We don't save any slime data, do we? No. I think the farm should store it. I see. Yeah, it is interesting to look at that stuff. I said I think the farm should store this, right? The farm stores sludge. We need this thing to add to the sludge when you bring it to the slime. Yeah. The slime needs to add the amount of sludge you have. The slime itself has a reference to the farm, doesn't it? It doesn't? What does it do all this stuff through signals? I don't think I like this at all. Does it even have the town? It doesn't? Oh, man. Oh, the base does. What is the base? An NPC? Huh. Okay. All right. Well, we got to organize this somehow. I'm not super concerned about it. I don't think it's going to be very difficult. But I really have to take a break. So I'll be right back. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hey, everyone was still alive at the end. Pretty good. By the way, if anyone's ever curious about playing this game and is like, how do I get around the Twitch duplicate message filter? You can just type any garbage at the end of your message. Like if I type join right now and type U to jump up, and then I want to jump again upward, I can type like UA or U and then just a bunch of garbage afterward. So that's how that works. Close the game. All right, slime needs to add the amount of sludge you have. So we're going to track this on the farm. It's an integer. I don't think it ever needs to be something other than an integer, because probably we're going to cap the maximum of like 10,000 or 20,000 or something, and not like 400 billion. So yeah, I think we just call this wisdom sludge. I wonder if we should make this public too, because eventually something's going to need to pull from this and change this. Yeah, let's just make this public. All right, so public int wisdom sludge get set. And we start you at 0. I think that part's reasonable. Okay, so now when we save the farm data, we're saving num food. This is going to be called wisdom sludge. Yeah. We better never change the name of this. I guess we can always change what it shows as in the UI. But I'm always torn when it comes to naming things after a made-up concept in a game that might not exist in the future, or at least not in that same form. Like what this is really representing is it's basically experience points. We're not going to call it experience points because they're not really experience points. And we're going to surface them at first as wisdom sludge, which is some nutritious sludge that makes you smarter or whatever, better. But we could have just called it like cooked food. It would be fine and everyone would know what it means. Why is this in the farm? Yeah, it's to avoid having chef save data, and also because you need the farm in order to get the chef slime. And also because the chef slime isn't public. So when the UI accesses the town, it's going to access, I guess, this from the farm. Yeah, maybe we should just save it in the slime and then just make the slime public. And maybe we should do all this in a separate commit as well. I don't know about that. Yeah, the slime should just save this. Slime should just be public in town. And the slime should have save data. Thanks for the extra work, Kevin. No, it's fine. I think whatever makes the most sense is typically what I want to do, unless it's going to cost a whole lot for not a lot of gain. And in this case, it's fine. So we're going to delete this from here, which now means that this doesn't have any changes, I believe. Yeah, this looks good. Looks good, looks good. This is not good. We don't want this. We do want that. We do want this. And what was that? Did something print out there? Make the slime make a sound. Just pulling this from the pond and then initializing this. And when this finishes, it's just freeing this thing. Okay, so then how about this? We'll also make, where's the chef slime position? Delete chef slime position and give the chef slime a function that gets called from caught fish. Fishing pond.caught. Sorry, not sorry. All right, the rest of this stuff I think is looking pretty good. Yeah, let's run this one more time. And then we'll check this in. We'll fix up the slime stuff. And we'll probably get, let me see what the rest of today is gonna look like. Because we can finish these things probably this morning still. Then what is this? Have the fire slime render the item inside before it disappears, give you more sludge. Oh, we got to make sure that farming gives you sludge. I don't think it does right now. Keep track of a maximum. Make sure we save and load the stuff. Make sure all this stuff runs fine. Yeah. Yeah, we can do all this stuff today. But are we going to be okay on time then? This is a smaller issue. Rid of cloning. Make quests give you points for tavern bonuses. Increase max level. This should be pretty quick. And then the last one is this, which Kevin started to work on. And is kind of mostly straightforward. Yeah, I think we can get done with all of this by the end of Friday. And Thursday is kind of an overflow day. Tomorrow isn't. Tomorrow I'm probably going to make some videos. By the way, the YouTube shorts have been doing pretty well. If you go to channel and take a look at shorts. This one got 10,000 views. And these two got about 5,000. So I'd say that's pretty successful so far. I think combined total of subscribers that I've gotten from those have been like 70 or 80. And I don't really care too much about the subscribers because I want to funnel people into Skeleseller content. But I guess it's all another chance of exposure at Skeleseller content that I eventually produce. All right, let's try to finish this stuff up today then. Or sorry, yeah, well, today. But this stuff at the top of the list this morning. So that looks good. Oh, it doesn't need to be a cropped sprite because we... Oh, no, we do use the outline shader. Yeah, sure. Okay, we're good then. Caught fish, that looks fine. Fish animation index, cool. Cool. Don't want to check that in. This is fine. This is fine. We do use this shader in 2 locations. Do we ever type this out and use this somewhere? No. We have scene paths. This isn't really a scene path, though. I guess we could just store this in the fishing pond. Oh, neat. Yeah, I'll put this in the fishing pond. All right, so this will be called fishing pond dot glowy fish shader. Yeah. This is going to be a public. Oh, neat. Except for that's wrong. Unused field scales for fish. Yeah, we got rid of that. I got to make sure to delete that. And that. They seem to be good content then. Yeah, I want to try a whole bunch of different just random learnings that I've had over the years and see how many videos I can make and how much people actually care about them. I think shorts are a really good vehicle for that. Also, I guess a notable stat that I should be sharing here is I didn't do any marketing over the weekend. And the wishlist count yesterday rose by, or no, on Saturday rose by 4, I think. I don't even know where I see that. 322.25. That was 2 days ago. Yeah. Yeah, so 5 new people wishlisted the game on Saturday. I think that must have come from that YouTube video. Because there's nothing else funneling people to the page. I didn't stream on Saturday. People might have been watching the VODs, I guess. But yeah, it probably just came from those shorts. So it is probably having an impact on wish lists. So we're up to what, 1444 today? Yeah, again, we need to multiply this number by like 10 or 20 for it to be pretty healthy. And it's taken me, what, not 2 months. When did we put the Steam thing online? Like November? So it's taken, what, 4 months to get to this point, and we don't have 10 or 20 times the amount of time. So we need to make the rate go up by 10 or 20x. That's going to be something. This looks good. Oh yeah, we need to use this in one other place. In Battler. Fishing pond dot glowy fish shader. Okay, so that should not exist anywhere else now. It does not. Good. Check that in. Check this in. Check that in. We want that, but not that stuff. Cool. All right, so create fish or like have fish fly to the chef slime. They still don't grant any wisdom sludge yet. And there's some minor polish to apply. But the fish at least correspond to the sprites they used during battle. Not that anyone's going to notice. Let me know if you think something I can do. I don't, on the marketing front, I don't really think there's anything. I always say kind of everyone could help out individually if you want to by just wishlisting the game and sharing the game with people who might like it. So basically doing the most sort of basic just word of mouth marketing. I think that would help. I assume you've already wishlisted the game. That'd be very surprising if you haven't. But the telling your friends about it sort of thing is like, how do you know someone's going to be into it or not? Beyond that, I don't think there's too much. Maybe, I guess the last thing would be telling any influencers that you might know. Because if people make a YouTube video or a Twitch stream about this, I think that could be helpful too. It's pretty much just how do we get, yeah, you think you already could influence, yeah. Yeah, this part could be interesting. I'm not sure how many streamers out there are in the, let's say, like 25 viewers to like 500 range who are just willing to accept game suggestions from their audience. And the ones who have more than 500 are probably just only doing sponsored stuff normally. Even the ones who are probably getting like more than 200 viewers are probably doing that. But if you find a small streamer with like 10 or 15 viewers or something, they're probably like, yeah, sure, I'll just play whatever game people want me to play. And I do have some streamers in mind already. I don't think there have been any new Skeleseller videos in the last little bit recently uploaded. Yeah, no, it's all just me. But there have been some random people online who've done it. Okay, the slime should save this. So let's go make slime save data. Farm save data. We don't save anything for the recycler. Load from save data. Oh, we do have it. Wow, look at that. Okay, well, let's save this as chef slime save data. And we're going to save wisdom sludge. Am I using a framework? I mean, Godot is the framework, but other than that, not really. It's all just pretty much Godot and C#. All right, so chef slime save data. We need this to be in the town save data now, just like how we have recycler save data. I'll put this here. Elements should be separated. Godot, the game engine. Save. Recycler. There's the recycler. Okay, so we're going to save the chef slime like that. And then when we load, we're going to load the chef slime. So there should be create farm somewhere. Yeah. This loads from the farm. I don't think the farm even has a reference to the slime. It doesn't. Oh, that's where it was. I wanted to delete that. I found it. Yeah, so I guess we know that the chef slime has to exist now. So chef slime, load from save data, that. And we know that has to exist too. I guess so. Yeah, sure thing, Atron. And I guess let's delete that line as long as we're doing this. So this becomes public. This is just going to save wisdom sludge. So we're going to restore this here, I guess. Wisdom sludge equals that. Cool. Now we go make a public thing for that. Public int this gets... I actually kind of want this to be public as well. At least I think so. Because of how you should be able to spend it. The adventurer's pane is going to eventually have a level up button that'll spend some amount of this. So yeah, I don't see why you shouldn't just be able to subtract the amount from here. Yeah. What's next? Saving the data. Yeah. So let's get that from the recycler. Save data. We copy this over to here. And this is chef slime save data. And this is literally just saving off wisdom sludge. Okay, so we are now saving and loading the chef slime. Let's go test that out. No, can we even test that out? Not really. We don't show the sludge anywhere. I guess we can do it on load. Well, I guess what we can test out is just, does this crash? That's probably good enough for now. So I have the slime. I hit save. I hit load. Everything's fine. Okay, so then the next step here is to make it, yeah, this is done. Make the slime public. So now, instead of chef slime being like this, we rename it to that. And we move this down to here. That didn't work. There. So now we don't need to get its position. Yeah, delete this. And wherever we used it, chef slime position. This was used in one spot. Yes, this is going to be this dot, whatever it was, get drop off point. So I guess let's just say vector 2 end position equals this. There. Okay. What next? Delete scales per fish. So that's all done. Delete this thing, which is not used for anything anyway. Oh, what? There we go. Give the chef slime a function that gets called from caught fish. Store its wisdom sludge. Didn't we do that already? Chef slime. Wisdom sludge. Yeah, we did. And what's that going to do? We need to tell it that we gave it a fish. Yeah. So we do this fish.queueFree and then town.chefslime dot consume fish. Yeah, now we add that function. Okay. I never figured out what the conversion ratio of fish to sludge is, did I? So how did this work before? We had some num scales going up, right? Num scales. I think we deleted that. We haven't deleted it, but we deleted wherever it goes up. So I guess we need to search the old code, fishing pond, for how that rises. Here it is, scales to grant. Oh, it was just 1 or 2. Okay, that was easy. Okay, well, let's do that. I think I know how to add 1 or 2 to something. All right, so this is going to be, if it's glowy, then add 2. Yeah. Oh, and also it should make the sound of cooking food, right? Yeah, so let's see how this works and sounds, and now we can test if it's saving and loading correctly. So if I go into my save file, which we need to make sure this game isn't running, if I load the save file here, we should see wisdom sludge. There it is. I'm going to set it to 50, and then we're going to have this thing eat a fish, and it should go up to either 51 or 52. And it's based on whether or not it's glowy, which we'll just be able to see. In fact, there's no such thing as glowy fish right now. So we just start a battle and then speed this up drastically and slow it down. So we should see a fish fly into the slime. There it goes. And then I hit save, quit, and the sludge now should be 51. It's just 1. Okay, that's a problem. Oh, I never loaded. That's why that happened. Fine. I guess technically what we should do then is load the file, which is what I meant to do originally. Load. So now we're at 1 sludge and 0 fish. I guess because if you quit while you're battling, it doesn't give you the fish back. That's a tiny problem. Small bug. Quitting while in a fishing battle doesn't refund the fish back to your pond. All right, so I start this. Speed this up a bunch. There. Save. Now Wisdom Sludge is at 2. Perfect. I guess we could test this with glowy fish. Now, nobody pay attention to what I'm about to do because this is cheating. And this is a cheat that's actually in the game. But there's a way you can force glowy fish by just leaving the fight and coming back in. Yeah, so now we got one. Nobody remember that. Don't do that when you play the game. Now we get a glowy fish and we save. And now we should have 4 Wisdom Sludge. Yeah. Easy. So what haven't we done yet? That's done. That's done. I don't want to move all of this there. It's this slime. So oh yeah, modify the Z index of the fish. It's got to show up on top of trees and stuff too. This should be easy to test out by instantiating a fishing pond into the town, adding a fish underneath it, and then making sure everything looks good. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Fishing pond. Where'd that go? Oh, nice. Okay, there it is. Yeah, so we're going to put this here. And then underneath that, we're going to instantiate a caught fish. And then we're going to make this thing huge. And then we just need to raise the Z index until it looks good. Whoops. 1. Not enough. There we go. 6. 6 is pretty good. Doesn't show up on top of a sign, though. That's funny. That sign doesn't actually show in the game, though. Yeah, so I think 6 is probably fine. All right, let's close out of that. Change caught fish to be 6. Save. And delete this stuff. Okay, now we try it out. So we have 2 fish in the pond. Let's go battle those fish. There's no indication of how much sludge you have in the game right now. But that should put us at 1, and that should put us at 2. We save, we look at our sludge. Save.json sludge. There it is. Yeah, cool. Looks like it's working. So as we catch more fish, they should just appear in battle. And we can make them glowy. We could increase the number of fish we can hold. Yeah, nice. Oh yeah, the sound effects. I didn't test that. Okay, let's speed this up. Save. I have 132 wisdom sludge. We're rich. We have a sludge heavy economy. Are we done everything here then? This is not even the right task. As soon as you catch a fish, yep, done. Delete the concept of scales. We haven't fully done that yet. I'll do that after this though. Let's check in this. This on its own is good enough to check in. Make hot fish show on top of trees. Show above trees. Yeah. All right, so we don't want that. We do want that. We want that. Looks good. Fishing pond. And town. Town had a lot of changes. All right, so here's what we do. We select everything and right click this and say stage. And then select everything below this and right click this and say stage. And that way we don't get the lines that are just for debugging. Why is this not checked in? Did I forget to hit the plus button? I must have. All right, so now we should be good. This is just removing a line, which we need to check in separately. Everything there looks good. And let's take a look at these. That should not have made it in. Oh, I clicked the wrong plus button. That explains it now. One didn't make it in that should have. And one did make it in that shouldn't have. I must have just clicked the wrong thing. All right. Yeah, looks nice. Cool. So allow, wait, what did I do here? We made the chef slime public. I guess add wisdom sludge. I'll capitalize it. There's no use for this yet, and it doesn't show anywhere in the game. But the chef slime now tracks this to facilitate that. We made the chef slime public in town. God, I can't type right now. Public in town. Yeah, that's it. All right, delete the concept of scales. Let's go do that. Fishing pond save data. We have num scales. Not anymore. Okay, so this should go away. This, and that should be that. And then same thing with the farm save data. We track how much food you got. Food. Delete this. We don't even technically need the braces there. Food, delete that. All right, so this is the only thing that's not being done right now. But that's something for the slime to figure out. So we just need crop data food value in there. Let's delete this otherwise. So chef slime, you get food somehow, right? Drop off item. Yeah, there's cook item in here. So this assumes that the item is food, but it's not guaranteed to be the case. And we don't have the crop ID here anymore. So this is all going to fail anyway. Well, that's fun. How do we do this? We could make a function that converts from an item ID to a crop ID and then get crop data. We could store this inside of an item, which I don't think makes sense. We have it the other way around. I guess we could just do this from crop data. All crop data. Yeah, we could make a function that says get crop ID from item. In fact, it could even make that dictionary. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Private static. It's technically not read only because we're going to need to set it at runtime, right? And what is this? It's an item ID to a crop ID. Item ID to crop ID. Yes. Then we make a static constructor. Why is this saying it's unused, remove it? All right, so what do we do here? Public or just static crop data? All crop data? Initialize all static fields inline and remove the static constructor. Oh, can we do that? It's probably going to be like monstrous syntax here. But yeah, it's probably possible. We could probably do like a for each on this. I don't even know how you... We're not using link, are we? Like I said, this is going to be annoying. Data.toDictionary. Data's already a dictionary. Oh, do we? Okay, I see. Then we make this read only and delete this. Easy. Okay. Public static crop data get item ID item ID. Oh, this one has to be a question mark though. And then we just return this one from there. Shouldn't try get value. No, it's false. This is not how this should work. Get crop ID. What? Oh yeah, that is how that should work. Well, well, well. Okay, that's pretty good. Good job, AI. And good job, Kevin. Okay, so now all we have to do is get this from the items ID. In fact, we can delete this whole crop data thing here because we don't need that. Cool, and we say wisdom sludge plus equal that. What's failing here? Oh, that. Yeah, sure. This or 0, I guess. Honestly, that should probably throw an error if we can't find it. Because it means that we wouldn't have manifested an item ID for that. Yeah, I think we should do that. Should we... Can you cook an item that's not going to accept? Where's will accept item? It's just got to be food. That doesn't mean that it's got an item ID here. Okay, fine. Let's do it. All right. Crop data equals all crop data dot get. And if that's null, then I guess print an error. Oh, I like that. Item ID is not a crop. Otherwise, access that. Crop data does not contain a definition for food value. What? Value.food value? But we know that it's... Whatever. Now I'm beginning to think that this is not actually possible. Yeah, nullable is container. Yeah, it's annoying when that happens for record structs. Because for proper classes, it could be null. But I think what we need to say here is if crop data has value, or not has value, I mean. Unit of all crop data get is not crop data, crop data. Yeah. I think this is okay for now. All right, we have a bigger problem. Well, not really bigger, but well, it is kind of bigger in terms of the game, which is that crops are worth somewhere between 2 to 10 food, if I'm not mistaken. Carrots are 2. Pumpkins are 10. Yeah. So 2 to 10. And fish are worth 1 to 2. Should probably free the item regardless. Oh, am I returning? Yeah, that's my bad. Well, if this happens, this probably should be an exception. I guess let's do it this way. Yeah, there we go. And I guess we only play the sound in this case. All right, so how do we fix this? Fish should probably be worth more. I don't know what this is going to be like until we've actually played the game. You can have 25 crops at once, but the way we've written this is you can have 100 fish at once. You can't beat them all that fast, though. A fish should probably be worth, like, at least probably like 25 food. So what if we did that? What if fish were worth 25 food and glowy ones were worth 50? What does this say on this? Scales? That's not right. Yeah, it says perks though, so we already know we have to fix that. I don't know. Is even that fair? I guess there's no concept of fair here. Maybe 20 and 50. 20, I don't know. Let's just pick a number. It doesn't matter. It just can't be 1. 1 is way too low. Yeah, so I'll make a private const int fish sludge value. Yeah, there. So it's this times the sludge value. Yeah. What's fish per second with a fully leveled up adventurer? I'm not really looking at it that way because I mean, this is a typical throughput problem, right? Your pond has a production rate and then your adventurers have a consumption rate. I'm considering it to be more about whatever the production rate is. And that's based on how many potions you bring and what your max fish can be at any time. Now, I recognize that if your production rate outpaces your consumption rate, then you're having potions go to waste. But that's actually based on whether the farm is accepting potions at the same time. Like, there's a lot of variables here. I think we're just going to need to play this and see how it feels. But I think fish should be worth a lot of food compared to the crops. You get the fishing pond later in the game. You have to battle the fish. I just hope it doesn't negate the farm. Actually, there's no way you can even stop farming. You can't stop it from happening. It's going to happen. Maybe we need to add a spell at some point in the game that auto harvests crops. Then you're going to get food no matter what anyway. Yeah, we'll have to see how it feels. I'm not going to try to balance that right now. All right, so this is done and this is done. That task shouldn't be there. That should be down here. Make sure tooltips, signposts, NPC text, perks, and the flea tooltip all have the same wording or correct wording. And then delete this from here. All right. Yeah, let's go check this in. So we deleted num food. We deleted num scales. We now have fish and crops give you sludge. Good. Well, probably good. I actually didn't look at what else we might need to change as a result of this. Nothing. Anything here? No, because we already deleted the other part. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, cool. Now what did we do? Remove unused food / scales. I also made sure to grant wisdom sludge properly when harvesting crops. Fish give 25 sludge when normal, 50 when glowy. All right, so what do we got left here? A bunch of stuff. But this stuff should be pretty quick. Have the fire slime render the item inside itself for a bit before it disappears. As soon as the item is brought to the slime, give you more sludge. I don't think this whole as soon as this is done. I think we're done with that now. Although I don't think I tested it for crops, which we should probably go do really fast. This is going to be very easy to test. So we save. We go look at our save file. Did I close it? Wisdom sludge. Okay, it's 0. And now we harvest a bunch of crops. And save. And now it should be 6. It's 4. Has it not finished processing the last one? It hadn't. Okay, yeah. Looks like it's working. And what about when workers harvest this stuff? Save. 50. Perfect. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, this is a nice little polish thing, but I don't think we're going to do this right now. I think we'll save this for afterward. Graphical. Actually, we might already have this written down for the recycler garbage slime. Follow-up work. It was this. Make it actually eat items. Yeah, this is make sure the slimes actually eat items. Keyword garbage, slime, chef slime. Yeah, that's it. Okay, great. So now we don't need to do it over here. One task, quote unquote, done. Not really. All right, this is probably a good stopping point. I don't think any of this stuff is going to be difficult. Where's the branch and switch back to main? Yeah, I don't think any of this is going to be hard. So the afternoon is mostly going to be wrapping up this task and then tackling PRs. By the way, Quickie Joe made some new graphics. I think it's just for icons so far, but they look really good. So you can see on the left side the old one and on the right side the new one. So for the zombie leader skill, now instead of a crown, it's actually the zombie with a crown. Which actually I just realized I don't think I made this clear. Hang on, I gotta write this down. Request a zombie battler with a crown, not just the icon change. Yeah, the outline fish graphic is now our proper same style. Max Fish has a lot of fish on it. The different vegetables we have. Glowy Fish has like a little lines coming out of it. Destroying the Rocks has a pickaxe. The well has some more water in it. Cog changed slightly. The paper changed slightly. Where is this in use? Oh, this is for the credits. Yeah, close button, repeat, auto repeat, edit, and the flee button. They're great. I think they look amazing. All right. Yeah, we're in pretty good shape, I think. I'm really trying to get this stuff done so that we can get another demo out. All right, continued working on manifesting crops as items. Yeah, cool. Well, I think that's it for this morning. It is currently 12:07 p.m. for me, so I'm gonna get lunch. I'll be back in about an hour, and we'll just continue from where we left off. We'll finish this entire task, and then we'll start working on some PRs. And if there's any leftover time, I don't really think there will be leftover time, but if there is, I think it's going to be some pretty minor stuff. We could start on quest changes. We could even try to knock this out today, but I think that'd be pretty ambitious. So yeah, I think we'll try to tackle those other things. If you liked these little snippets of seeing the game here, this is technically playable now, but it doesn't have a lot of the systems that we've been working on. So you could try it if you want. I suggest waiting, but at least wishlisting it would really help. And I will be back in about an hour. So thank you all for watching, and I will catch you later. Bye.